This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. The second stop, three-city trip for St. Louis, and it takes us to Miami and Lone Depot Park. And tonight, game number one, the Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to the broadcast booth here in Miami with Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. Game one starter for Don Mattingly's club is a lefty, Jesus Luzardo. So with that, the Cardinals counter with the DH in play, one Albert Pujols.
Yes, I mean, can we write a letter and say, can we throw more lefties against our team? But if you're the visitors, this is not what you want to see. This guy is on fire against left-handers. That's why he was in the league last year with the Dodgers. You can see the numbers, but I love it. Leg kick, no leg kick, a different look every time you see him. And I told you he's going to be a factor as soon as we signed him, and I think he's going to play more and more as the season goes.
He's now up to 681 career home runs in the Hall of Fame career of Albert Pujols. Career comparison. This is Goldschmidt and Arenado combined. Now we're talking about two great players, and those numbers combined to Albert Pujols. Absolutely remarkable. Really puts in perspective the kind of career that number 5 has had. So Albert is in the lineup tonight, and so are those two. Waino on the mound, Yachty behind the plate. It's the Marlins hit the Cardinals coming up on Bally Sports. As battery mates tonight, it is number 307. And so they will have sole possession of third place on this list. Start together, number 307, Wainwright and Molina. Now back to business on this road trip. They split with Milwaukee. They are 5-3 on the year. And the Marlins, a game under 500 at 4-5. 78 degrees outside, muggy, and the roof is closed. And along with Jim Edmonds and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. And great to have you with us. Game one of 3 on Bally Sports Midwest. Jesus Luzardo will face this lineup. Dylan Carlson at the top. Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, Albert Pujols, Tommy Edman, Paul DeYoung, Yadier Molina, Harrison Bader. And Luzardo with the first pitch. It is tap foul. He is a hard thrower. We saw him in spring training, and everything he is throwing is a tick or two harder than last year and the year before. In his career, he is 9-11 with an ERA just below 5.5. On the road trip, it's been a tough start for Carlson, 1 for 19. One ball. Yep, check that. No balls and 2 strikes.
Oops.
Home plate umpire Mark Ripperger. Big gap in left center, the 0-2. And the Hyundai pitch arsenal for this lefty. Fastball, breaking ball. He's got the off speed. And he was magnificent in his last start. He struck out 12 in that game. In that first start, the average on his four-seamer was nearly 98 miles per hour.
You saw it right there, too, and that's pretty good fastball. The thing right there is you've got to keep your composure and your mechanics and able to throw strikes at that, at that effort level. And I think sometimes when those guys see those high numbers, they try to get them up there a little bit. If you're not used to throwing that hard and you start trying to reach up to 100, you can lose your mechanics in a hurry.
A 3-2. And a strikeout of Dylan Carlson. No argument. The first of the night for this lefty, Jesus Luzardo. A season ago, the Marlins had 55 defensive runs saved. It was 7th in baseball, and they add a Gold Glover behind the plate. The former Pirate Jacob Stallings. Wendell, the former Tampa Bay Ray, is at third. Rojas, Chisholm, Cooper on the infield. In the outfield, it's Anderson in left, Sanchez in center, Avisail Garcia in right, the former Brewer. And the 0-1 pitch to Goldie. Now 0-2. Slow start with just 1 extra base hit, 1 run batted in, and hitting 138.
You can see Luzardo is going to basically be a two-pitch pitcher. He's going fastball, curveball pretty much all the time.
Back-to-back Ks. One thing the Marlins can hang their hat on in a very tough division, they can pitch. They are lined up with really good pitching this year.
I feel like that's no surprise, and you're kind of used to seeing the Marlins with a couple of good guys at least, and now they have 3, 4, maybe even 5 solid starters. But every year they figure it out and bring up some young studs, and they got some arms, man. You're right on about that. I like to see right there, he's going to pump that fastball, and then he's going to try to get you out with the slider.
There's Tyler O'Neill and a strike on the inside corner. So Luzardo a part now of this rotation, which a year ago was at 3.96 the ERA, and it gets better and better as the years go by, and that's a check swing. Did not go. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matter of fact, the Marlins were hit with injuries, and they used a franchise record 18 starters last year, and still they ranked 13th in all of baseball in ERA. 1-2 the count. All but 3 of the teams ahead of them in ERA made the playoffs, and the Cardinals have to figure out Sandy Alcantara tomorrow and then Pablo Lopez in game 3. That is well hit out to left, but positioned there. It's Brian Anderson. He makes the catch, and the Cardinals go in order. Uncle Charlie gets the call tonight. Battery mates with Yadier Molina, number 307 here tonight. It's Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest. Bill Doak, 5th all-time in total innings pitched. Get through the 2nd, then he's top 5 all alone in Cardinals history. And so far this season, a win on opening day, took a loss the other night against Milwaukee. And it was his secondary pitches that he struggled with in that game.
Yeah, you can see here, fastball, breaking ball is your off-speed, but off-speed kind of has a little bit of everything. You're going to see the cutter, not very often, but you're going to see the cutter, the breaking ball, curveball, slider, fastball, sinker, 2-seamer, and 4-seamer. So I thought, you know, other than really leaving some breaking balls up, he used some good pitches often on both sides of the plate last time. I thought it was pretty impressive, but, you know, the breaking ball was the issue.
First time in his pro career that Jesus Sanchez has batted in the leadoff position.
Now he doesn't want to be the leadoff hitter. He's gone.
Well, that's interesting there. So you go up, you're the leadoff man, and then all of a sudden you don't feel like you have the right equipment with you. Interesting. Sanchez at the top, and then Cooper, Aguilar, Wendell, Garcia, Anderson, Chisholm, Stallings, and Rojas. Did not have his thumb guard with him, and that, tell you what, you're Adam Wainwright, you don't appreciate that one bit.
No, I wouldn't be super happy about it, but it happens. Just one of those things. When you don't lead off, you kind of goes off your game a little bit.
I guess. Third baseman Arenado is in. Cardinals shift on the right side, and the first pitch is swung on, and it's a foul ball.
Pretty good sinker
Sanchez,
right
when he hits the ball, and that's the key, if he makes contact, it's going somewhere more times than not hard. 43% hard hit rate last year, but he's got a high swing and miss rate too. The 0-1. Curveball beauty, 0-2. And for Wainwright, he has faced the Marlins more in spring training in his career than he has in regular season play.
I can see that.
And the 0-2 pitch. Got up, took something off the breaking ball. It's a strikeout of Jesus Sanchez, and the first of the night for Adam Wainwright. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers around the horn. No surprise, Molina behind the plate with Waino on the mound. In the outfield, O'Neill, Bader, and Carlson. Arenado, DeYoung, Edman, and Goldie on the infield. I guess it didn't affect Adam all that much with Sanchez. That was 3 pitches, and thank you very much.
3 pretty good ones too. It was the a good sinker, and then kind of a little 3/4 curveball around the plate, and then he just dropped that little soft one on him.
So 1 out and nobody on, and the pitch taken by Garrett Cooper. Jim Edmonds Toyota, key to the game.
Well, we already saw a little bit of it, but the off speed, his last outing He really got hurt on off-speed pitches, and there was a time where he was giving up the hard hit, and the hits were maybe 4 out of 5 off-speed pitches. So saw that when his breaking ball is down by the feet, down by the plate, it's on, and it was up his last outing. So that's going to be the key for him today.
The 2-0 pitch. One thing that Waino has is a very simple delivery, repeatable. We talk about that a lot. I think that's one of the reasons that you see him not walk many and go deep into games.
Well, and that's why he's able to do some other things out there on the mound as far as stutter stepping and stuff. His balance is so good.
And it's a 1-out walk to Cooper. Jesus Aguilar, he was second in the National League in runs batted in a year ago. Second to Duvall of Atlanta, who had 113. We'll see if he takes a first pitch here. He took it 91% of the time last year. He's taken that first pitch.
It's kind of shocking to me. It seems like a guy that's going to swing. I think he's got a really good idea. He's always seemed to be the guy that gives the Cardinals trouble. But I'm not waiting around for Wainwright to get settled in if I'm him.
And a curveball drops in. He is 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout head-to-head with Wainwright. He's hit safely in all 4 home games this year. And he's 4 for 12 here at Lone Depot Park.
You notice that that curveball is a little bit more off to the side tonight already.
Looks pretty good, too.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing he's going to have, too, is it's been cold, and now that we're back in Florida, he's got some sink. The fastball has got a little, the humidity and the heat is going to bring that ball down with the gravity. And
it's amazing. It's a really good point. Yeah.
Cold in St. Louis, he wasn't getting a lot of run to the sinker, even though he's making good pitches with it. And I think that's the other reason why the breaking ball was up. Just really hard to get a feel. Getting a whole lot of strike zone here today so far from Rippinger.
Wow.
Home plate umpire.
You don't see Waino do that with the third batter of the game stare back in. I thought a couple of the pitches to Cooper looked awfully close
early on, especially.
Yeah. It's a count of 2 balls and 1 strike on Jesus Aguilar.
Wow.
Mark Rippinger is the home plate umpire. Tom Hallion is the crew chief. He's down at first. Phil Cuzzy at second, and Corey Blazer at third. Very short lead by Cooper at first, and it's a full count now on Aguilar.
See a couple of cutters right there. Needs to throw a strike. You don't want to throw just a simple fastball or a sinker. You show the little bit of the cutter.
Aguilar a year ago, big numbers as he drove in 93. He may have won the RBI title. He got hurt down the stretch in September, and he popped 22 home runs. See if they want to start the runner. They do not, and the 3-2 is taken, and it's back-to-back walks. Don't see that very often from Adam Wainwright. Joey Wendell, versatile player, picked up from Tampa Bay. He can play all around the diamond, and tonight he is at third base. Grounded into 11 double plays a year ago. Hit a career high 11 home runs in 136 games last season with Tampa Bay. 1 out, 2 on, and it is popped into shallow center, backing up and making the catch, Tommy Edman, and there is 2 away.
Well, that's a good pitch right there. He just said, heck with it. I'm going to go out there and be aggressive and get ahead, and he did that. He made a really nice pitch inside, and complete jam sandwich, as they say.
Abisail Garcia, 5 for 13 against Adam Wainwright. We saw him a bunch last year with Milwaukee. He popped 29 home runs, drove in 86. His barrel rate jumped from 3.8 to 12.2, and that was the largest jump in baseball.
His barrel rate.
Well, trying to barrel the baseball and
That's
let it
you
rip.
are.
Runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Garcia pulls it left side, backhanded. Arenado throws the stretch. Oh, they got him!
It's incredible.
Gold Glovers on both ends from foul territory. Arenado and the stretch by Goldie. Don Mattingly, the manager of the Marlins, wanted to make sure that Goldie was on the bag, and indeed he was. Holy smokes, what a play here. Look how far he is.
I'm sure Donnie Baseball can appreciate this.
The stretch. Wow. Ridiculous on both ends. Arenado starting it, and then a very tough play for a right-handed throwing first baseman with that ball going up the line, but falling and still being able to keep his toe, if you will, on the bag. What a play. As Arenado looks at a strike.
The play is so amazing on the first base side, you almost forget that there isn't even a third baseman in this play. But what I was trying to say is how he can go down and reach without the foot pulling away from the bag is unbelievable. And then, oh yeah, by the way, the third baseman made a pretty nice play.
How about this, though? I mean, he's made a living out of doing this, where he gathers and throws off balance, where
that's what I'm talking about. Look
a
at that.
lot of third basemen, Jimmy, are going to stop and get the back leg planted and then make that throw. That's hit into the shift, and Jazz Chisholm retires Nolan Arenado.
Well, the thing that he does so well, and I know he works on it, is he just would rather gather his feet. And so you even see him kind of look away. Like, I was laughing like he looked in the dugout like, watch this, you know, kind of a joke. But he is like a quarterback. He wants to make sure he can get his feet to where he's comfortable and then make the throw. And if he has that kind of time, he makes the throw almost on the money every time. And then when it's just a little bit off, you have another Gold Glover over there.
Albert Pujols in the starting lineup as the designated hitter. He has not homered in this ballpark. He'd love to check that off his list. And Sunday, he unloaded.
Wow.
For number 681. A 3-run homer. And it's 0-2. So his last 3 games he's played in since opening day, 5 for 10, 2 home runs, driven in 4, walked a couple of times, and only 1 strikeout. The 0-2 pitch. And Pujols puts it in play down the right field line. It may drop, and it will. It's a base hit. And Albert's thinking too. Get in there, Albert. Standing up. It's a double for Albert Pujols.
Do you remember when we used to say he's invisible and he could just run around the bases like no one could see him? It's also incredible. He just, whatever he does works.
He's now 6 hits shy of tying Eddie Collins for 10th place on Major League Baseball's all-time hits list.
See what he did there? He went no stride, so he could just put the ball in play against the guy throwing 97. It's the other thing, right? We've been watching him with a leg kick, high leg kick, getting things started. And right there, he knows he's just got to guard against anything. And so he just doesn't even, he just waits and just tries to put the ball in play, and it works out. You make adjustments, good things happen.
So the first hit in this game belongs to Pujols, and here is Tommy Edman. And he has been on base in every game this year. 10-game hitting streak dating back to last season. And a good start for Tommy, 9 for 27. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's really funny. His first 2 days, he really struggled left-handed, but he got his hits. And you're saying a good start, and he wasn't feeling good. That's how crazy this game can be. Was it 0 for 3 or 4 from the left side, and then the home run on the right side, and then the next day back and forth a few times until he got the left side to come around. But it's a crazy game.
He has as many runs batted in as strikeouts, so that's good too. He's made a concerted effort to try to cut down on the K's this year. The 2-1. Chopped left side and foul. Last year, Tommy didn't have his 3rd home run until May 26th. It was the 49th game of the season, and already with 3 in the early goings of this 2022 campaign.
I love it. He's another weapon. You know, he's just this lineup just gets deeper and deeper, and that's the thing. You can't sleep on anyone in the lineup. And when you got a guy like Bader at the bottom who can steal, he's got power, he can hit, he can run. Turn the lineup over, and the way they go.
The 2-2 on a short hop. Wendell, nice play. That wasn't easy either. We'll predict who will dominate the season, and you could win $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or cash with MLB Season Pick'em. And it's presented by FTX. View the rules and enter at MLB.com/pick'em. And now it is DeYoung.
About the, what is that, a 2-hopper that was had to come get it, short hop, and barely throw out the runner? You don't see that very often.
We saw the Cardinals
bang, bang.
Prior to the game. They took the infield practice because this is a very quick infield. It's the turf that you have, but it's been beaten down a little bit.
I just thought it was interesting what you're saying too. Is the dirt looks flawless. I was going to make a comment when Adam bounced that curveball in the dirt, and Yadi just kind of sat there. It was like there was nothing disturbed the ball. It bounced exactly where he thought. He just covered it up. It scored it out for strike 3. He picked it up and threw him out at first. But it just when the field is in this kind of shape, it makes it a lot easier to even come get that ball at third base.
The 2-0 pitch to DeYoung.
Ouch.
2-1.
Like to have that. I'd like to have that one back.
Paul had a very good at bat against Devin Williams. Drew a walk. 8th inning of a tight game on Sunday. Cardinals have talked about the at bats. They think they are better than what we saw a year ago. They feel the results eventually will be there. He looks up, he's hitting 167, but
you
the
know
approach and the foul ball sometimes
do you know
are
what he
showing
did
that
on
you're
his
doing
day
better
off?
things.
You know what he did on his day off? He hit. He went to a place. He got a hold of a guy, and a guy that's known him forever. He talked with the Jeff a little bit. He's been working with the guy that he's grown up with, and he hit in his off day here down in Miami. I think that's the kind of stuff it takes. You know, you have to. There's some days where you need to be away or you need more time, and it's really hard to do on the road. And you know, if you want to hit extra, you got to be out here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So he took the off day and went and did a little bit then. That's saying something right there. I'll tell you what. He's really working to get better, and I think he's just right there.
3-2, drilled out to deep left field, and it's off the base of the wall. Pujols will score. DeYoung on his way to second, in there safely with a 2-out double to make it 1-0 St. Louis.
Good swing right there.
And Jimmy, there are fans that say, now come on, they see the foul balls and they think that is a good sign. And what they're saying is there are pitches that he is getting to, and he may foul them away, and he may strike out, may make an out, but they like the fact that it's not just an automatic out.
Look how short that is too, and that's 109 off the bat, and that ball's down and in. And the thing that you don't understand about the struggling part of it is it's so easy to get right back to, oh, here we go again, or oh man, that's that pitch that gives me trouble, or wow, this guy's throwing hard. You got to keep those thoughts out of your mind. And you know, you look up and you're hitting, you know, he's hitting 200 now, but you look up and you see yourself hitting 169. You're like, oh man, here we go again. I got to turn this around. And it's just every day, it's something creeping in your head. Like, you know, you've had a bad week or a bad month at home with work or whatever. It's the same. It's every single day. I got to fix this. I got to fix this. I got to fix this, because sooner or later, you know, the at bats pile up and it's harder and harder to get it back, especially the average, to get that back.
Here's a 1-1 to Yadi. Fouled back. Had that exact conversation at the team hotel yesterday with Harrison Bader.
I had that conversation with Paul DeYoung in the lobby yesterday.
And Bader was saying, he goes, man, I'm here to win, but I've learned now to not worry about it.
Yeah, he pushes himself hard, which is good.
Up the middle, but into the shift. Chisholm with plenty of time, and they throw it away. Yadi will wind up at second and scoring It is Paul DeYoung. He had all the time in the world. And they throw it away to make it 2-0 Cardinals.
Those are the little things.
I mean, watch how he throws that ball.
Well, you know what's funny is I was just watching Yachty run just to see how his knees are and stuff, and he started to pick it up a little bit, and I thought, what is he doing? Yeah, that's just all being young, Danny. That's still just making mistakes that you shouldn't make. Remember when we used to talk about Colton Wong when he would do the same thing? He'd get to a good play, and then he would throw it off balance. And as soon as he stopped doing that, he just became a better player, and that's all that is. 24 years old for Jazz Chisholm, and it's just, those are the things, right? Just one little tiny thing can mess up the whole day. Make a nice play, make a bad throw. It's all about growing up and figuring it out.
The 1-0 off the end of the bat by Harrison Bader in the 9th position in this lineup. So the error on Chisholm, and he's a fabulous player. A lot of flash, but very, very athletic. And that's one he wants back. He had plenty of time to get Yadier Molina.
Which one would you like to use? Set your feet or step and throw? there's all kinds of them out there. I'm sure he'll hear that a few times in the next couple days.
Now, this is one of the issues that at times Luzardo had while with Oakland. Now he's got a boatload of talent, but he can get unnerved at times. I'm sure he's frustrated with this. The bloop double by Pujols, then with 2 outs to Young, the double out to left, and he gets Molina and should be out of the inning. And instead, he's now dealing with Bader.
That's what's 35, 37 pitches now already. 37.
The 2-1 check swing and a strike. 2016 drafted by the Nationals, had Tommy John surgery. 2019 is about to break, and he's in the rotation. Then he has a rotator cuff strain. 2020 he got COVID. Then last year missed time when he injured his pinky playing video games, and I'm not joking.
Apparently not, because you just said it over the live TV.
Yes, sir.
That's a hard one to swallow, I would think, if you're management.
He was in Oakland and part of the Starling Marte deal that brings him now to the rotation of the Marlins. 2-2, 2 outs, runner at second, and a full count on Bader with Carlson on deck.
Well, I can promise you something he's going to need is another pitch. You know, when you get to the second time through the lineup and the fastball kind of loses a little bit of zip and it's the breaking ball and fastball show only, hitters start to feast, and then you start to lay off the breaking ball.
And the shift on Bader here on the left side, 3-2. And he draws a walk.
As electric as his stuff is and as good as he is, if you were just fastball slider and that slider's down like that, as a hitter, all you have to do is look for one pitch, and you know, hopefully you get the heater to hit before he gets you out with the breaking ball.
Well, Stoudemire, the pitching coach, has gotten to Luzardo and really worked with him well at the end of last year after the deadline, and then this spring. One of the things they talk about, Jimmy, and from a hitter's perspective, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, but they feel that he opens up a little bit, and not only opens up, but then his left hand, so his pitching arm, you can see the ball. He doesn't hide it like a Josh Hader might.
Well, opening up one is going to do that for you, obviously. It's going to show more of your arm coming up, but it's also going to take a little bit of velocity, a little bit of control, and break out of all your pitches. And as we talk about with mechanics, you sometimes, you know, your mechanics can be good and they can still look off, and then sometimes if your mechanics can just be off, if you're like a Wainwright and you lose your mechanics, you're going to lose pitches. If you can learn to pitch like that, then you have to make an adjustment, because yeah, it's easier to see the ball.
And Carlson lifts a fly ball out to left, backing up Anderson, and he'll make the catch. Dillon 0 for 2. RBI double by Paul DeYoung, and Molina reaching on an error to score Paul. It's 2-0. Second, and we check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Danny, Yachty back in the starting lineup. He did not start the last 3 games, but Yachty says health-wise he is feeling just fine. He says he did report late to spring training, which was shortened anyway because of the lockout, So Yadi says he's just starting to settle in. Yadi said it's a different situation for me. I did show up late, and right now I'm trying to get my body back in shape. My position is a tough one to play, but right now I feel a lot better now than I did a week ago, and I'm ready to go. And Dan, Yadi also said he still hates sitting out because he wants to find a way to help his team every single game.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. It's Brian Anderson at the plate. Well, you knew with Waino on the mound tonight, Yadi would be behind the plate. It's start number 307, so third all time these two in sole possession of third place on that list. Anderson, a very good player, missed 51 games, left shoulder issue, and then got hurt in September, so injury plagued season a year ago. He has reached base safely in 7 of his last 9, so he comes in swinging a hot bat. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Check swing and a foul ball.
That's up.
No Jorge Soler in the lineup tonight, so they're doing a little bit of the load management thing that a lot of teams are looking at, a lot of different sports are looking at. So with the off day and then a day off here in game 1, couple of days for Soler. And Anderson gives them that versatility to be able to do that because he can play the outfield. Primarily has been a third baseman and a very good defensive third baseman too.
I'm kind of a big fan of this load factor, especially when you don't have a Soler in the lineup against us. I think it's plays right into the Cardinals' hands.
And the 2-2.
Especially after that ball he hit in spring training.
Oh boy. His first game as a Marlin was against the Cardinals, and he's been hitting in the leadoff spot, but at spring training he had 3 hits that day, which included a home run. MVP of last year's World Series.
Just one of those guys that he's one of those guys that walks to the plate and anything can happen. You know, it's just that kind of talent and power.
Hit 48 home runs a couple of seasons ago, and this is Sunday, and this one is still going. Wow. Pretty good power.
Always.
Waino walked 2 in the first inning, but came away unscathed. And the 3-2 pitch to Anderson. Held on to by Molina. Second strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less. For a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
There's Jazz Chisholm. He had 18 home runs and 23 stolen bases last year, so nearly a 2020 player. He is from the Bahamas. A shift on the right side and a ground ball that is foul.
So that ball almost came back again. How many times are we going to see that in the last couple of weeks we've been doing games already? That ball looked like it was going to be way foul, and he almost caught that ball right on the line.
When you look at Chisholm, as big as some of the players are, you wouldn't expect a lot of power, but against the Cardinals this spring, he had a grand slam. As I mentioned earlier, 18 home runs and drove in 53 for the Marlins. Had a tough year a season ago. It's 67 and 95.
They were saying he has lightning quick hands here at the ballpark today when I was talking to some guys in the food area. Lightning quick.
Marlins reached the playoffs in 2020. That was one of the biggest surprises in baseball that year. Then 95 losses last year. Don Mattingly returns for his 7th season now here in Miami. Longest tenured and winningest manager in franchise history. The 2-1 pitch. And it's 2-2. One of your favorites growing up. Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly.
One of my favorites. Still is. What a great man. I drove 5 hours in the snow for him one time, and it was a 3.5-hour drive.
to go to Evansville?
To go to Evansville, yeah. What a great little area there.
The 2-2. Chisholm lines it to Goldschmidt for out number 2. It was the year after Don Mattingly retired that the Yankees began that magical run and won in 1996. He finally got to the playoffs, and he went there one time with New York, as he was the face of the franchise and an MVP
for a long time.
Gold Glover, batting championships, great player. 2 outs, nobody on, and a fastball that is strike to Jacob Stallings. Hitting 125 with a home run, and he has driven in 3. He was the Gold Glove winner last year in the National League as the catcher for Pittsburgh.
I think
that's pulled foul.
I think that when Donnie retired is when they went out and got Tino Martinez, right, from Seattle. I don't know how he got there, but that's where his first year was with the Yankees in that '96 season.
Well, they decided,
pretty good pickup right there.
You know, Donnie's on that team, and they decided probably 4 or 5 years prior to that they were going to start to draft, develop, and then if the guys became players, we'll pay them. Well, that was Jeter, Posada, Bernie Williams, some of the others that came through. And the 0-2 into center field, and a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. First hit allowed by Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, I think they were pretty happy getting Tino Martinez. He ended up driving in 117 runs his first year in New York. Kind of just picked up right where Donnie left off.
Longest tenured Marlin who's at the plate, that's Miguel Rojas. Very good player. Don't hear a lot about him because the Marlins just don't garner a lot of attention. They've been, you know, down for a few years. And this guy, though, has been a steady player, really good defensively. Last year at 265, 9 home runs, drove in 48. He says excellent around the young players, too. Hit to the right side and gathered by Tommy Edman. Marlins will strand their 3rd runner of this ball game. We move to the 3rd. Goldie, O'Neill, Arenado coming up. To you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Goldschmidt, O'Neill, and Arenado for St. Louis. Sun setting here in Miami. Beautiful city. First pitch to Goldie. Strike 1. He struck out his first time up. Slow start after having a fabulous spring for the Cardinals.
That's the thing I don't like. I don't want to have a good spring, to be honest with you.
If you're established, you could say that.
Yeah, I really don't. I remember when as I got a little bit older, I hit a first pitch of the game, my first at bat, I hit like a 2-hopper to second, and I came running back to the dugout. One of the veterans said, "Great spring training at bat. Hit the ball hard. Don't have to run the bases." I was
timing.
like, what? Yeah, hit a fastball, you pulled it, you hit it hard, and then you go sit down.
Well, he is due. The 2-1. Lined into left center.
There you go.
He was on that pitch, and it gets by Anderson. So Goldie on his way to second. And the Cardinals have their 2nd double in this game.
You know, I talked to him today at the hotel, actually across the street, getting a cup of coffee, and you would have never known. I couldn't tell if he was hitting 140 or 440.
He's very even keel.
Yeah.
Always has been.
I didn't realize he had now moved himself and his family down to Jupiter full time. It's pretty awesome.
There's Tyler O'Neill. It was 4 years ago tonight that Tyler O'Neill made his major league debut. I asked Stubby Clapp, who was the manager then at Memphis, about that, and he said it was awesome to be able to tell from one Canadian to another, you are headed to play in the major leagues. Little check swing, and it's fouled back.
That would have been cool.
And the gloves from that night for Tyler O'Neill, they're Stubby, the first base coach, but they're at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, the game-worn batting gloves from that night 4 years ago. The 0-2.
He's even got that. You see that right there? Almost looked like his stride was backwards to get a little bit quicker, knowing that the fastball was coming probably above 95. Find all kinds of ways to shorten up your swing when you start to figure it out, you know.
Inside.
See how short, and watch how quickly and how early he gets ready and how quiet he stays in order just to be all hands. I had to do that with Brad Penny. I couldn't figure him out, and finally I just stood up really tall and tried to hit down on the ball, and it helped. But I was always swinging up through balls, and you just keep making outs and outs and outs, and finally have to do something different.
1-2 is smoked into left center. Here comes Goldschmidt. They'll wave him in. O'Neill to second and trying to stretch it into a double. He's out, but he picks up an RBI, and that is his 7th this year to make it 3-0 Cardinals.
I'm okay with that right there, Danny. I think that he made his decision that they were probably going to go after Goldie, and he took a chance. But watch right here. Actually, he got a little stride going there, but just short, all hands. Look at this, just to the ball. Boom. Top hand is so strong. You see it come through. And Goldie goes back, and I think this is why he maybe takes a chance here, but I'm okay with this right here. I like this run, and I like the hustle. I like the run more than the hustle, but I'll take the effort.
Now Nolan Arenado pulls it foul down into the camera well next to the Marlins dugout. It's now a 4-game hitting streak for Tyler O'Neill, and Arenado has hit in all 8 games so far this season, and doing it with extra bases and power. Get down the right field line, and that'll slice foul and out of play. 301st career double on Sunday. Now has 9 extra base hits. The team's first 8 games. Only Emmett, Snags, Hendrick had more the first 8 games, and that was back in 1901. And the 0-2 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Gets underneath it. Hits it a mile high left side. Calling for it, Miguel Rojas in foul territory to make the catch. 2 away. In steps Albert Pujols. Pujols a bloop double with 2 strikes hit down the right field line. And then scored on the double with 2 outs by Paul DeYoung to get things started. Big gap in right center, and the first pitch taken for a ball. Now has 3,307 hits.
That's all.
681 home runs. And the 1-0 pitch to Albert. Pujols, base hit right side. He's 2 for 2. So he's now 7 for his last 12 and 2 for 2 tonight.
This is just what you're going to see, Danny. Hard hitting balls. Like, he gets his foot. He knows he's going to cheat a little bit. But here's the key. He stays with this ball. It's not cheating and pulling. It's cheating and hitting the barrel. It doesn't matter where it goes. If you hit the ball hard enough, you're going to find grass. And that's when you said something earlier about swinging at the barrel. I was like, man, I'm just trying to find grass. Is what they say, right? You just want to get the ball to the outfield grass.
And Tommy Edman lifts a fly ball into right center, and that ball is down. It's knocked down by Garcia. Pujols being waved in all the way from first, and the throw is up the line and gets away, and Albert showing off the wheels. Love it. 4-0 Cardinals.
I just hope he's not hurt. That was a long run.
Tommy Edman might have, if he had a little bit more time, lapped him. Tommy was flying here. The triple for Edman.
I think we might be able to break this down here in a second once it comes through the computer to see if we can get sprint speed on both of them. I think he slowed down right here and thought, you know what, I'm either out or I'm not. Both of these guys had some big runs today. Careful. Ooh, be careful.
Tommy Edman extends his hitting streak. He's 1 for 2 tonight, and he has driven in 6. The Cardinals doing this with 2 outs again, so 3 of the 4 runs have been scored with 2 outs. 4 hits in the inning, and now it's DeYoung.
It was the first changeup that I can remember seeing right there.
The 0-1.
Second changeup of the day right there. That's the thing. That's what's going to hurt you as a young pitcher, right? You can only throw so many fastball, curveball counts. You have to mix it up.
This will be pitch number 60 coming up for Luzardo. 2 outs, runner at third, and the Marlins shifting on the left side. Hit down the left field line. It is hooking and foul.
Another changeup.
So Paul DeYoung, with 2 strikes a year ago, Jimmy, hit about 119. And over the weekend, he had a huge hit that wound up being a massive double for the Cardinals. Picked up a run with 2 strikes. He's hanging in there a little bit more, not defeated. The results will be there.
It's funny though, because if you would have asked me before the game, I wouldn't have said he's hitting 200, because his swing looks so much better. That's where the numbers really just don't make sense some days. You know, you can hit everything hard and get nothing out of it.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals with 6 hits already, and a 4-0 St. Louis lead. The 2-2. Good take. Full count.
Looks okay.
Yeah. A swing and a miss. A strikeout of DeYoung, and number 3 tonight for this left-hander. Pujols singled and then scored all the way from first. Got to towel him off. 4-0 Cardinals. Their profile as we take a look at Adam Wainwright. 4-0 our score here in Miami. Game 1 of this 3-game series. And now he is in 5th place. Most innings pitched all time in Cardinals history.
I don't think those top 2 guys are going to get caught.
No, sir. The top 5 for a franchise. It's been around forever. That's
something special.
Yep. Heck of an accomplishment by Adam Wainwright. Jesus Sanchez, Garrett Cooper, and Jesus Aguilar. Top of the lineup for the Marlins. Waino is walked 2, struck out 2, and allowed a base hit to Stallings.
What do you think about it, too? I mean, he was basically... I mean, he didn't have any innings for the first 2 years of his career, basically. You know, 75 innings that first year.
Well, he missed 2 years, essentially, 2, Tommy John, and then had the Achilles situation. The 1-1, and it's 1-2.
I mean, he came up in 05, he had 2 innings, and then 75 in 06. And then he was started to go a little bit, but that's still, like you said, that's almost 4 years of not starting with and having that many innings. It's pretty impressive.
Sanchez started the night for Waino with 3 pitches and a strikeout. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. And a swing and a miss. Took something off the breaking ball. Second time that Waino has done that. And that is strikeout number 3.
There's that breaking ball we talk about, right? When it's good, it's down. It's usually probably the majority of the time, especially with strikeouts, Yadi's blocking it. And when you start to see Yadi catch it, especially above his shin guards, that's when it's going to get hit a little bit. And that was his last start. A couple balls got up in the zone. He got hit around a little bit with the off speed.
So 1 out and nobody on. Slow breaking ball to Garrett Cooper. Walked his first time up. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Ryan Franklin is with PGA professional John Daly and watching Cardinals baseball tonight.
Yes, they are.
And John, if you are coming to St. Louis for the Ascension Charity Classic, you owe Jimmy and I a round of golf with you. We want to play with you, and if you want to bring Frankie, that'd be fine too.
Get Frankie to shave.
We love Frankie too, but that would be a thrill. The 0-2. It's a strikeout back-to-back. Sanchez and now Cooper.
You know,
John Daly to me is still must-see
Yes.
TV when it comes to golf. I love watching him play.
And you know he's a humongous Cardinals fan, which a lot of people don't get to know that about him, but pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was a part of the Ascension Charity Classic last year at Norwood Hills, which was a remarkable success. It was one of the biggest events in its first year on the Champions Tour, and they'll be back again this year, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Nick Ragone and Steve Spratt and that crew at Ascension did a remarkable job. Ozzie was a part of it. Craig Berube.
Yeah, if it's golf, Ozzie's in.
You got it.
Ozzie's in.
Jesus Aguilar walked his first time up. And the 1-0. Popped up. Playable for Goldschmidt. Foul territory and a 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts mixed in for Waino. We head to the fourth. St. Louis on top. Midwest brought to you by Ford, the official car truck of the Cardinals. By St. Louis Children's. Only St. Louis Children's. Missouri's #1 pediatric hospital. And CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. A swing and a miss by Yadier Molina. Reached on an air. Jazz Chisholm on a hard hit ball up the middle. They got a shift on for Yadi. We've talked about this a lot, Jimmy, over the years. I just would not shift against Molina. He's too good at trying to do that. Go the other way as he hits it down the right field line and foul. But he is the kind of guy that I think he surveys the defense and understands what they're trying to do to him, both from a pitching and defensive perspective, and is able to take advantage of that.
Well, the thing that I understand is usually maybe when he hits a ground ball, the ball on the ground that will touch the infield grass probably pulls. And the ball that he hits into the outfield is going to get to the outfield grass to the right side. But what I don't like is a guy throwing this hard.
The stretch hit first by Garrett Cooper for the
But that's why they do it
charge
right
there
there.
by Wendell.
That's what they do. That's why they do it.
Oh, I know.
That chart has got to be on the ground, on the infield, has got to be more pull, and then the chart in the air, basically, even if it's a blooper, and the outfield is going to be to right center, right field.
Harrison Bader walked his first time up. A lot of Cardinal fans here in Miami, as they always are. They travel down here for this series and situate down the first base line by the dugout of the Cardinals. Also get a lot of fans coming over from St. Pete. Cardinals trained there for so many years. And you build up that fan base with spring training, and those fans all of a sudden then follow that team.
I'll tell you what, get a good fan base. They're going to follow you.
Yep.
A lot of red. I was walking around today. A lot of Cardinal shirts, Cardinal hats.
0-2 did not go. 1-2.
You can see the difference right now with just using the changeup a little bit more, giving a couple of the hitters fits. And that's what I was saying. Like, you know, it's great. You throw 98, you got a breaking ball, but you need a third pitch. You have to get something else to look at.
And now Luzardo a little frustrated with the strike zone, just like Wainwright earlier tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. And the 2-2 is a high fly ball out to deep right. Avisail Garcia backing up to make the catch. For the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. The Marlins hired Derek Jeter to be their team CEO in 2017, and he has stepped down from that role. But they do feel that his presence alone did help with some of the trust factor of fans that were on the fence, and he tried to do a lot in the community and get them involved as a franchise back in this community.
I kind of didn't understand that whole thing at first. I know what he was trying to accomplish, but it was kind of a weird hire, and then it was a weird exit. You know,
the right field line, slicing and caught. Nice play. Avisail Garcia down into the right field corner. So 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals midway through 4. Best giveaway returns to Busch Stadium Friday, April 29th. The Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. And that night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home their very own puffy vest courtesy of Bayer. Great seats remain. Get yours at cardinals.com/promotions. Adam Wainwright back out for the bottom of the 4th. Wendell, Garcia, and Anderson. 4, 5, and 6 for Miami. If you missed it over the weekend, we had Adam Wainwright in uniform, active, and in our booth. It's not just a headset on, but the headset in the booth as he came up and visited.
Enjoyed it.
He was great.
I was shocked that he was up here in his uniform. Did you get my text? I'm like, hey, what's going on up there?
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taps slowly up the first base line and foul. But one of the things he talked about, and I'm sure you can appreciate this, Jimmy, having played nearly 2 decades in the big leagues, but he said, I've learned now at this stage of my career to take in other things. You know, baseball, very important. Obviously, I train. I'm in good shape. I want to have success, but I also want to enjoy the ride. And I'm just seeing that out of him. I think Albert is that way, and I think Yachty is that way too.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, I think that you don't really, like for me, I didn't really see the end coming until I kind of moved around a little bit at the end there, and then I got hurt. But I felt like when I got traded away and then went to Chicago, I felt, man, I got a lot left in the tank, you know, and I started to slow down and start to enjoy it, but not the way I guess I could have. And so, yeah, it kind of goes quick, you know, it really does. And I think when they're in this situation with these 3 guys, that's special. I think they can actually enjoy each other and kind of feed off each other, like, hey, let's do something different today, or let's enjoy where we're at. It's hard to do as a player too, because you're always tired. It doesn't matter. And you know, Danny, the travel schedule, even for you, is grueling, you know, and you're not playing, and it's still tough. So when you're out there every day in the heat playing around, it's hard to kind of get up and move around. You want to just lay around and not really do much, and you really have to kind of enjoy yourself. It's tough.
The 2-2 pitch. Grounded foul. So his old man walked the day after start, walks around the stadium, and he went and found himself in the front row where Bob Uecker sits for the Brewers games and his broadcast booth. And then those two wanted to meet each other, and I happened to be in the booth visiting with Ueck, and I said, well, why don't you just come on over and visit with us too? He said, absolutely. He's great about that. The 2-2 hit the other way and a base hit. Joey Wendell. Only the second hit allowed by Adam Wainwright.
Watch the job he does right here with even getting jammed, kind of just levels out his swing, stay flat as the ball's up high. Can't swing up at this, and look how he just kind of swings flat through it. It's a nice job right there. He kind of lifts his hands up and just swings with the top hand, and he swings up at that. It's a jam shot pop up, and you get nowhere out of it. Pretty good job right there.
Avisail Garcia led Milwaukee in home runs, RBI, total bases last year for an offense that as a whole struggled, so they missed this guy. Did pick up McCutchen and Renfroe, but this is a very good player. Avisail Garcia, 29 home runs last season. Wendell, the leadoff base hit to left, And the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
It's funny, you watch this Marlins team and you still think how young they can be, and they've kind of sprinkled in some 30-something guys now. You always just used to be a really young team, you know, and you got Garcia 30 years old and Aguilar get, you know, above 30 and a couple of these other guys, but it's got to help with kind of bringing some of these younger players along. And back in the day when you're all just 20-something, it doesn't really, it's hard to push over the top and really get consistent winner.
Strikeout number 5 for Wainwright. We were talking about Derek Jeter before we went to the break, and the question for any ownership group, Bruce Sherman is now the owner here. Derek had a small percentage of the ownership, but can you get fans to come here? And obviously it's not very crowded here tonight. And most around here, talking with those that have been around this organization for a long time, believe if you develop, if you draft well, and then sprinkle in your veterans and have sustained winning, they will come out. But again, I mean, you're talking about a team last year that had nearly 100 losses. And the times that they did win the championship, they would dismantle that team the next year. So the trust factor hasn't been there with the fan base and this organization. It's very tough to keep that.
Well, I think that one of the things that happened for the 2000 Cardinals and above was the kind of the personalities of those bench players. You know, they were older with the Davis. I mention it all the time, Eric Davis, Sean Dunston, Thomas Howard, but
they slowly hit, and Goldie steps on the bag, advancing Wendell to second, 2 away.
They really did everything that La Russa couldn't, which was patrol everything every day, right? Everything. And they stayed on you and made sure you did it right. And even for, you know, guys like the majority of us were in our mid to late 20s, but those guys were still, and they were in their late 30s and middle 30s, and they were just that extra reminder of, hey, you can't do that, or hey, this is how you need to do this, and this is how you play hard, and just consistently, though, every day. And then you buy into it, and then all of a sudden you're doing it. So when you have everyone, like we were in Anaheim, we didn't have that. And so when you don't have that, you don't really learn day in and day out. The manager can't do everything all the time. You can be exhausted trying to manage, you know, every single aspect of every single player.
There's Chisholm. Popped out his first time up. Runner at second. Wendell. Shift on the right side and a pitch taken in. But here is one of those young players that they can build around. And Chisholm, we just saw Anderson ground out. Another one. And now Yadi and Waino are going to talk it over with a runner at second, and I'm sure maybe changing up the signs here. While we have a moment, quick word from a Rally House.
Play ball, St. Louis. Shop the latest in Cardinals style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for every fan.
One ball and no strikes on Chisholm. Cardinals have out hit the Marlins 6-2, and they lead it 4-0 in the home half of the fourth. Runner at second, Joey Wendell. And the 1-0 pitch. It was interesting the other day. The shortstop in Milwaukee would come in and actually put himself in front of the runner at second so that the runner, in that case it was Tommy Edman, could not peek in to see either grip from the pitcher or signs. You don't see that every day.
No, and then did you see the other day one of the third basemen did it at third. When the old days they used to do it, the third baseman would stand in your way and we were trying to tag up on a fly ball. And I know it was fun, but the runner at third pushed him out of the way.
That was with the Cubs.
Yeah.
It was Patrick Wisdom.
That's exactly right. I was trying to search for that in my memory banks, but I don't have what you have.
Dropping to a knee was Chisholm, 2-2 the count. The attendance in Miami last year was 642,617 total. And with restrictions in St. Louis, the Cardinals were able to get to 2.1. Ballpark located in Little Havana. Beautiful ballpark, too.
It is beautiful. My first time here.
It's great. The 2-2 pitch. On the ground, right side, race to the bag. Perfect throw by Goldie to lead Waino. And that's the out. Marlins have stranded 4. We move to the 5th and St. Louis on top. Down to Busch Stadium. It's Grateful Dead night. You'll get a Grateful Dead tie-dye baseball jersey. Pre-game performance by Jake's Leg. Tickets at cardinals.com/theme. Goldschmidt double hit into left center his first time up, and that's his second extra base hit this year. Moving now to right center, the center fielder Sanchez. Quickly 0-2. O'Neill on deck, and then Nolan Arenado. And the 0-2 pitch. The 1-2. Big cut by Goldie. Just got a piece. The matchups for the Cardinals, they announced that Jordan Hicks will pitch in this series, and he'll get the start Thursday night here in Miami. And then it's off to Cincinnati. The 1-2. The Reds have dropped 7 in a row, and in all 7 games, they have not had a lead. Meanwhile, the Dodgers have won 7 in a row, and at no point in time have they been trailing in those 7 games. First time that's happened, those 7 games, since they moved to LA. And that's a base hit into right center after a great effort from Chisholm. Just over his outstretched glove, and a base hit to lead it off here in the 5th. Goldschmidt 2 for 3. Chevy pitch tracks.
You see, he just stays with this a little bit better each time, don't you think? It's like he battled, swung and missed the first pitch of the at bat, or the second pitch of the at bat, and then took a good pitch, and then kind of got his balance a little bit. That's a great swing the other way.
A strike on Tyler O'Neill. I mentioned that he made his debut jumping from Memphis to St. Louis 4 years ago. And I talked to Ben Johnson today. He is the manager of the Memphis Redbirds. They're at 500 right now. And he's a guy that was initially drafted by the Cardinals and then had big league time primarily with San Diego. But he grew up a Cardinal fan in Memphis and used to go to games at Tim McCarver Stadium in Memphis. And right now he is back home living with his dad as the manager. And then his family will join him. I said, how cool is that? He said it's been one of the great experiences he's ever had in the game. So he's back to manage the Memphis Redbirds in his hometown, and his whole family can live with his father. And he says every day we wake up, we have a cup of coffee,
awesome.
We talk baseball. He said it's just been amazing. Here's a 1-2. They've got some guys right now tearing it up. Nolan Gorman, Yepez, Matthew Liberatore has had some good starts.
Some players down there. I'm telling you, a lot of guys waiting in the wings.
Brendan Donovan has been impressive. The 2-2. Burleson, we saw him a bunch, an outfielder this spring. He's been swinging the bat well. It was fun to visit with Ben today. Really good guy. Grew up idolizing Ozzie, and now he said, I play catch with him, and I don't hit him in the chest. I'm nervous. See if they want to start the runner on 3-2. Now you do have Jacob Stallings, very good catch and throw. We know O'Neill can be erratic at times with the strikeouts. I'm not sure I'd start him. We'll see.
I say no right here. What do you think?
I'm saying no.
At least we agree for once.
However, against the lefties, O'Neill, pretty good numbers, now running, and the pitch is taken for a ball. So, first 2 have reached.
I just don't run there because I don't think he's very slow to the plate. A tough jump for Goldie. And any kind of swing and miss, he's out by 10 feet, and that's just, you know, it's right-hander. And
different story.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even with chance of a strikeout, I still would take a chance if he could get a jump, or if you have something on the pitcher. And right there, he's looking right at you. He's just too quick.
Cardinals are 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position thus far tonight. Arenado at the plate. First pitch taken for a strike. Albert Pujols on deck, and Albert is 2 for 2.
You think you bring Pujols in and everyone thinks it's a show, and yet he's hitting .412 to start the season.
That is well hit. Left center, deepest part of the park. Tagging up Goldschmidt. O'Neill will stay put at first. Runners at the corners with 1 out, and a chance now for Albert Pujols.
Yeah, that's a great tag right there by Goldie. Getting to third base right here with 1 out. Not only does it get you closer to score, it just makes an at bat right here for Albert that much easier. So now he just has to hit a fly ball to get an RBI.
Pujols had a bloop double down the right field line, legged that out, then he singled to right and scored all the way from first base on a triple by Tommy Edman. First time he has scored from first since all the way back early in the 2019 season. Now Don Mattingly wants to talk it over here.
I was going to say, he might have seen enough. Tough to take him out right here, I think, just because of the strikeout. He's got strikeout stuff. Maybe a good idea to go out there and talk him through it a little bit. That's what you want to try and do here. And by the way, I got somebody ready in the bullpen if you don't get accomplished what you're trying to get accomplished.
It's got to be a right-hander if you're going to do it.
Just letting him throw a little bit more.
It's not a high five for the umpire. That's just checking the sticky stuff on his fingers, if indeed there was any. So right-hander coming in to face Pujols. Runners at the corners, and we come back. With the Indians, the Mariners, Orioles, Tampa Bay, 153 major league appearances, and he's got runners at first and third, 1 out, and the batter is Albert Pujols. Armstrong was invited to camp as a minor league invite and has made this club the BJC difference maker. The double hit by Albert Pujols, and then a single also to right, and he's 2 for 2. It's 7 for his last 12 with only 1 strikeout.
Did you see that first highlight? He knew that was a double right away. Did you see him jumping out of the box? I mean, that's just the kind of player he is. Like, he realizes that ball's not going to travel. They're probably playing deep, and the ball goes up in the air. Should be an out, and yet he's like, this ball's going to drop. I got a double. He doesn't run hard out of the box. He's got no chance.
So 1 out. Runners at the corners. And the first pitch to Albert Pujols. Runner goes, and it's a foul ball as O'Neill had a good jump.
Now I like that right there. Except for I'm a little worried if I'm going to distract my guy hitting when all is needed is a fly ball. But then you're trying to stop the ground ball double play. So I think that's a really good call as long as you make Albert aware of it.
Well, Albert is hit into the most in the history of the game, and
I used to hit behind him. I know.
That's when you know that you're hitting the ball hard and right at him. The 0-1 pitch to Pujols, and a check on O'Neill. Armstrong selected by the Indians, 18th round of 2011 out of East Carolina. The 0-1 pitch to Albert Pujols. Here it comes. Albert is hit into 413 double plays. Next on the list is Cal Ripken Jr. at 350.
Well, he never saw a guy on base he didn't like. He's going to hit.
The 1-1.
You don't get 2,000 RBIs when watching fastballs go by.
Runner goes on the 1-2. It's a ball inside and a stolen base for O'Neill.
See the stance right there, Albert? It's almost like he's getting more comfortable and he's going back to his old, you know,
more crouch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
You know, his legs are getting underneath him a little bit more. He's kind of flattened out his, you know, the way he's standing. He's leg kick sometimes when he knows he wants to get his hands going, and then not when he's trying to. This looks just like the old Albert right here.
Infield drawn in. Pujols taps it foul. That's the pitch that he swung through earlier in the at-bat. Good chance for the Cardinals to break this open. Up 4-0. Runners at second and third, and just one out. The 2-2 put in play. Play at the plate, and they got him. Going on contact, and Goldschmidt thrown out by Rojas.
Good play all the way around on both sides right there. Albert putting the ball in play, doing the best he can on a slider away, and then between the shortstop making a good throw, a good jump. Everyone did the right thing here. You just come up short if you're the Cardinals. Nice jump by Goldie. He throws that ball on the other side of the plate. Goldie's safe. A lot going on in that play. A lot could go wrong on that play too.
So Pujols at first. O'Neill now at third. And here is Tommy Edman, who tripled, picked up a run batted in. Last time up, 1 for 2. Good play by Stallings. Last year, the Marlins led in pass balls. All the baseball. And that's one of the reasons they went out and got Jacob Stallings.
That's why you got to go get a good catcher.
He had 1 last year on his way to the Gold Glove. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Edman base hit. Another 2-out RBI for St. Louis. And another 2-hit night for Tommy Edman to make it 5-0 Cardinals.
That's just the other reason right there too, is that you got a guy on the mound throwing 95 and he makes a good pitch, and Tommy just fights it off right at the shortstop where he would be standing, and just a free base hit.
Here's DeYoung at a 2-out RBI double back in the second inning. And that got the Cardinals going. He struck out at double tonight. Runners at first and second. First pitch to him. Strike 1. And a grounder that's hit to short. Force play at second. Cardinals strand a pair, but they've got 8 hits tonight and a run, and it's 5-0 St. Louis.
Cards up 5-zip. Albert Pujols getting closer to the 700 homer mark. He may have his eyes on that milestone, but there's another he isn't too worried about. Albert has homered in every currently being used ballpark except this one. Be nice to see that change tonight, but Albert says he isn't worried about it. Albert told me that would be great if it happens, but my main concern is to help my team win tonight and win the series. I didn't come here just to put one out of the park. I'd like to, but if it doesn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. Danny, I still think Albert wants to go deep here, just saying.
No doubt. It's pulled foul by Jacob Stallings. You see him there on the iPad. I was talking to Pop Warner the other day. I said, what's it been like having Albert back? And he said he has been terrific with our young players and in doing things like this especially, but studying and then taking what he knows and using that knowledge to try to help out the other players. And Pop said when he was with the Dodgers last year and came through, he would watch Pujols in the other dugout. So he's, maybe playing, maybe not. But he said, I watched him interact with the other players, and he was doing that in L.A. with the Dodgers, and he said he certainly is doing that here, and he's been everything and then some they could have wanted when they brought him back to St. Louis.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, too, with the Dodgers, watching him from on TV. And it was kind of an oddball spot for him. He jumped right in and was like, the first day there, you could see him talking to the players, and he was like, obviously the respect factor is there for everyone, but it's not that easy just to kind of have that personality to go out of your way for everyone, and he always has.
1-2 is hit out of play. The Cardinals with 5 runs tonight, and 3 of the 5 with 2 outs. They have 27 2-out RBI this season. That's the most in baseball. When you do that, those are backbreakers for the opposition.
Yeah, it really puts, it's here we go again syndrome for some of the younger teams, right? When you get a chance to get out of an inning and then boom, base hit or good at bat.
And the strikeout number 6. And Stallings, we could hear it up here. He said no way, but he's got to have those calls for his guy when he's behind the plate.
It's a pretty big pitch right here. A pretty good pitch, pretty big pitch. But I think when you go back and watch this, it looks like it's all about a strike. You just don't want it to be a strike when you're the hitter.
So 6 tonight for Waino. He's walked 2, and that was in the first inning, back-to-back. And he has really settled in. He's allowed just 2 hits tonight. And here is Miguel Rojas with 1 out and nobody on. Rojas grounded to Tommy Edman at second, first time up. Curveball and taken low. Waino has worked at least 5 innings in all 12 of his starts against the Marlins. He's got a couple of complete game shutouts. A memorable one back in 2016 as the 2006 reunion was happening that night.
Oh, what a day.
And they're all in the box in the suite at Busch Stadium, and Waino goes the distance with many of his former teammates from that championship club up in the suite. That was a neat night. And the 1-1. Cardinals swept their season series against the Marlins last year. First time they had ever done that. Inside corner evens it up at 2-2. So it was an off day yesterday, and now things get really busy. Cardinals will play 20 games in 20 consecutive days beginning tonight. That's their longest stretch without a day off this year. Little hesitation, 2-2. Chopped left side. Arenado cuts it off, throws off balance, and a strike right at the chest to Paul Goldschmidt for out number 2.
I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that, Danny, going forward, but kind of changed his angle right there a little bit. Instead of, he could have easily kept running across the infield, but he kind of beelined it a little bit towards first and just kept his feet moving. Like I said, he's really comfortable running on the run. See how he just kind of turns a little bit? Even though he's running at an angle, he gets his shoulders really square. He's so comfortable throwing on the run. It's incredible.
Big curveball, and it drops in for his strike. And a nice note from a Cardinal fan. It said, Jim and Dan, it's my birthday. I come from Wall Street every year, off of Wall Street, to see the Cardinals and the Marlins. That's Peter Gecko Marbarger. Happy birthday.
It's probably a good change of weather for him, too.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and an 0-2 pitch to Jesus Sanchez. Fastball taken high. Waino in the 2 at bats with Sanchez has slowed down that curveball on the 3rd strike. Had him way out in front. Right around that 70 to 73 miles per hour. Here it comes. And this time he stays with it and a base hit into left.
Maybe too many right there, but yeah, you're right. He throws a good one for a strike and then throws the softer one to get some kind of chase. Just does a nice job of making the adjustment right here. Look at the body, looking down on a knee. Stays with it. That's a good piece of hitting right there. See that little turf hop right there?
So 2 outs and a runner at first base. Garrett Cooper has walked and struck out. Fastball taken down and in. It's amazing. You see the velocity of which Wainwright will throw, and he'll hit 90, 91, and guys are as late as if he's throwing 102.
Every now and then.
Everybody off balance.
He just did that a couple hitters back when he threw a couple of sinkers and ate him up, and then you could see they're looking for breaking balls.
Cooper has hit in 6 of the 8 that he's played in so far this year. And 0 for 1 tonight. Hit left side. Arenado makes the play. Waino is through 5. We head to the 6th, and the Cardinals on top here in game 1. Again on Thursday, the Budweiser What's on Tap. Miles Michaelis, Sandy Alcantara tomorrow, and then Jordan Hicks in game 3. Pablo Lopez. Real good matchup tomorrow. Michaelis, Alcantara. I was talking with Miles today on the way over to the ballpark, and he said, I finally feel like everything is healthy. I'm able to bounce back. When I throw a pitch, it's doing what I want it to do. My body is reacting properly. He had the chance with the off day to go back home to Jupiter yesterday, and he'll get the call against Alcantara. And Sandy Alcantara signed a long-term extension to be a part of this rebuild here with the Marlins. Amazingly, Jimmy, and he's been so good, 45% of his career starts have featured 2 runs or fewer of support. So in terms of win-loss, it could be a lot better for Alcantara as Yachty hits a fly ball to deep right. Avisail Garcia under it to make the catch. Sandy, the former Cardinal, part of the Marcell Ozuna deal. And you had to give up something to get the slugger Ozuna, and the Cardinals paid a hefty price in Sandy Alcantara. All-star last year with 33 starts, over 200 innings, over 200 strikeouts. Traded away by St. Louis in 2017. Here's Harrison Bader. We're told now that is Brian De La Cruz in right field for Garcia. Here's a 1-0 pitch with 1 out and nobody on. Shift on the left side. And the fastball taken for a strike. Second inning for Armstrong, who came in with 2 on and 1 out. Back in inning number 5. Luzardo went 4 1/3, 5 runs, struck out 3, walked 2. The 1-1 is hit down the right field line and out of play. Here's a 1-2 and a strikeout of Bader. Armstrong has his first tonight. So 2 outs. Saturday, April 30th, Cardinals Diamondbacks, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a Nolan Arenado bobblehead. It's courtesy of Purina. Also features Nolan with his lovable pooch. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Cardinals, for the most part, in their lineup, strikeouts have been way down so far to start this year. There's a shift on the right side, and that's strike one on Dylan Carlson. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
I feel like they've been a lot more aggressive so far this year. A lot of good swings with fastballs early on. Even if it's good or bad as far as average is concerned right away, it's still, I think, a great thing to have, is being aggressive, especially with guys throwing so hard all the time.
And the 0-1. Missed down and in. A ball and a strike. 17.6 strikeout rate through the first 8 games, and that is the best in all of baseball for the Cardinals. The 1-1. 2 strikes on Dylan Carlson. Did a grand slam here a year ago. And the 1-2. Carlson hits it left side. And against the shift, just get him by about a half step. Cardinals go in order. We're midway through 6. 5-0 St. Louis. The cast is presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The content descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. South Beach.
I was just going to say, what a city, huh?
Beautiful. Jesus Aguilar, home half of the 6th. He has walked and popped out. Pitch number 76 from Adam Wainwright, and it's taken for a ball low. Aguilar, Wendell, first 2 in the lineup, and then De La Cruz. Good fastball. Even when he doesn't have his best stuff, and he's been sharp tonight, but you look up and Adam Wainwright is going to find a way to get you to the 6th or the 7th.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was interesting in that last start that he had so much trouble with the off-speed pitches, because that is just, I don't know if I could ever go back and say that that's ever happened to him since I've been doing this part of my job, where it's more than one. You know, it was 4 or 5 or 6 of them, and not just I made one bad pitch with the curveball or this or that. But otherwise, you're right, he finds a way to get it to work.
2-2 the count. Popped out his last time to Goldie and then walking off the mound. Aguilar is one of those guys that looks like he just has a blast playing the game, and those two exchange words in a cordial way, in a fun way, giving Waino some trouble. And the 2-2 pitch. Out to center. Harrison Bader under it.
See that right there?
First out here in the 6th.
I love that look right there. It's center fielder sits.
See him smiling again. So let's take a look at the night for Adam Wainwright. So far, 5 1/3. 3 hits allowed, and he has struck out 6. He walked 2. That was in the first inning, but typical Waino here tonight.
Yeah, I just think he's been around the plate with everything. I think that the good thing is when he's on, you see him use both sides of the plate with both pitches. He's thrown some backdoor breaking balls. He's thrown some to the right-hander that's broken away from them out of the zone. He's run that sinker, getting a little bit more movement on that sinker tonight than he has recently, and so I think this is nice for him pitching in this heat.
The hesitation, the 0-1. Nothing in 2.
Little cutter right through. So he ran the little Maddox thing we talked about the other day. He ran the sinker in, run it across the plate, and throws the same pitch, but he cuts it. He tries to run it in on your hands. So if you think it's the same pitch, and it eats you up a little bit.
Trying to pick up strikeout number 7 and the 0-2. So Waino and Yachty in this start move ahead of Red Faber and Ray Schultz. Chicago White Sox, they had 306 starts together. And tonight, number 307 for this combination. 3rd all-time in baseball history. Up next, it is Warren Spahn. Del Crandall set the record beginning in 1949 and then finished in 63. Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehan, number 1 on that list, battery mates. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball, and Waino's got it. Needed all 6'7" to reach out and get there. And he's got it, takes it himself, and that is out number 2.
Every bit of that wingspan right there.
If he doesn't get there, it's a base hit.
Yeah, it probably is. There's no way. The way they play the shift now, second baseman's usually standing in the outfield grass. And if he tips that, it's a base hit. Because Paulie's running over there to field it because there's no second baseman, basically.
And a veteran move there by Yachty, saying, well, I got a little rock here. I need to pick that up and throw it away. And
Get your
well,
breath
doing
back.
so, you let Waino catch his breath.
De La Cruz is laughing. Everybody knows what's going on.
So 2 outs and nobody on. De La Cruz with a high fly ball into center. Bader back. He'll look up, and it's gone. The Marlins get on the board. De La Cruz with 2 outs, a solo home run here in the home half of the 6th, and that makes it 5-1.
That ball was hit. A little bit of a, I don't know if it's a hanging cutter, but it's just a cutter that doesn't do anything. And talking about why you try to get your breath back because you don't make a bad pitch, and he hammers this cutter. It's got to be one of the further balls we've seen hit this year.
Now Anderson 0 for 2. Shift on the left side and a breaking ball in for a strike. We'll see how long Ollie wants to go with Waino approaching now 90 pitches. This will be number 88 coming up. They are getting to the bottom of the lineup here. And he carries so many pitchers right now. It's not only beneficial for starters and trying to help them build up, but there's also the byproduct of guys need some work out there too. You got to get into games to stay sharp.
Yeah, that definitely is the good and the bad and the ugly of having extra people. You don't expect your starters to go deep, and when they do, a couple days in a row, you're basically full of a bullpen that needs help, needs work.
And the next to Brian Anderson. Pulled, and that ball is foul. 2 strikes. T.J. McFarland throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. And the 2-2 pitch. I would say this would be it for Waino here.
Well, you'd like to see him get out of this right here so you don't have to bring someone in. It just slows the game down, slows the momentum. Like to get him through this inning. All the above.
They have a left-handed batter and Chisholm on deck. And we'll see if Ali makes a decision here. Could be it. My guess is it is. Home run and now a single. And Chisholm coming up from the left side.
And the dugout is scrambling to get to the phone, see what's going on. There you see Ollie. Tell you what, that bums out the manager just as much as the pitcher. He doesn't want to have to get him out of the game here. He wants him to finish. And it's always a tough call, I think, when you have to go out there and get a guy like Adam out of the inning a little bit earlier than you want.
T.J. McFarland coming into the game, and the St. Louis crowd is standing O for Adam Wainwright. Entering with a ticket, take home their own Cardinals fleece blanket. Thanks to the Post House Company, and tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. T.J. McFarland into the ball game. He had the bases loaded walk the other day against Milwaukee. Proved to be costly. Cardinals lost by a run. It's our Chevy call to the pen. But he's an example of what we were talking about earlier, where he has said, and Ollie even said it afterwards, we've got to find ways to get him work. That's how he stays sharp. So here he is to face a lefty, and that is Jazz Chisholm with a runner at first. 5-1 our score, and 2 down.
It's hard too because you can't just have a simulated once in a while, especially bullpen guys. You never know when you're going to need them. You can't go out there and throw them early and try to get some guys some work because you just never know.
Don Mattingly now counters with Soler, and on the first pitch he grounds it softly to third, and that is a big out with Soler at the plate. One pitch gets the out and sends us to the 7th. Marlins get a run, and it's 5-1. Baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Jack in the Box's popcorn chicken combos for $5.99. Get it classic, spicy, or 50-50. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Before the lockout, Lewis Head was acquired by the Marlins to work out of their bullpen from Tampa Bay. Four-seamer, slider, changeup. Made his debut against the Blue Jays about this time last year. Chevy called to the pen. It was interesting too because of his age. He is now 32, but he was 31 when he made his major league debut.
Lots and lots of sliders.
He'll throw that about 50% of the time, and here's Paul Goldschmidt, and the fastball taken up. Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. About 47% sliders.
Well, I don't know whoever did the inside edge stats, but I've never seen a pitcher have 100% stat in one thing, and right now, if I'm Goldie, I'm not happy because it says 100% sliders against righties. He just threw 2 fastballs at 94.
And a fly ball lifted into shallow right center, and it's dropped. De La Cruz coming on, does not make the play.
See right there, there's 2 guys in the game, in right and at second base now, that weren't in the game at the beginning. And a little communication gap. This is right fielder's ball all the way, but I'll tell you what, you want to know the biggest problem right there? Second baseman has to get out of the way. You can't stand there and just sit still. You have to move out of the eyesight. Fernando Vina used to do that to me all the time, and I said, hey, you got to move. I can see you still. He just would stop, and it would stop right in my eyes.
There's Tyler O'Neill. That is ruled a base hit.
Yeah, that's. See how long that stays up there like that.
Goldie loves it. That makes it a 3-hit night for him. And now they have just reversed it to an error.
I was gonna say it won't take long.
Shift on the left side of the infield. O'Neill is walked, picked up an RBI, run scored.
That's why these notes right here sometimes are just not for you. You got to watch the game, the TV, the highlights, everything to figure out what's going on. If I go up there and thinking 100% slider, I am not happy.
1 ball and 1 strike. And the breaking ball taken inside, 2-1. Marlins will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Stallings, Rojas, and Sanchez. The 2-1. 2-2. So the Marlins are down to 1 available position player on their bench, and that's Peyton Henry, their backup catcher. That's Bernie now at second base. The 2-2. Ground ball. Can they turn 2 at the speed of O'Neill? They do. 6-4-3. While we have a moment, quick word from St. Louis Children's.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
Arenado hitless, grounded into the shift, popped out into foul territory and fly to center with 2 runners on. And it's hit to short. Rojas up with it. And after the error, a double play and a ground out. Time to stretch. 5-1 St. Louis.
To a longer knob at the bottom of their bat. Nolan Arenado was one of them. It's referred to as a puck style, and Nolan says the extra weight at the bottom creates a counterbalance and actually makes the bat feel lighter. He told me it creates more whip, more bat speed, and you get more velocity off the bat. Nolan told me I was actually a little scared to do it at first and mess up my swing, but I did a lot of testing at different places and had the whole off season to get comfortable with it. Danny Nolan always looking for ways to get better.
Absolutely, and it is interesting, Jimmy, to see the bat being used by Nolan and Paul Goldschmidt. We're talking about 2 guys that are established stars in the game too.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting when you make a change in something like that, and even the you know, the bat that Tyler O'Neill uses with the different handle, but I think that's interesting too. I talked to my dad about that a few years back, and he said, wouldn't you get better wood if the knob was bigger, heavier, because it would stay consistent with, and then you counterbalance basically. And I thought, man, I'm in the middle of my career or whatever. I don't have any time for that. I'm not even trying that, but I think it's interesting. I think it's a great concept. Anything that makes you feel better.
Stallings 1 for 2. Base hit to center on an 0-2 pitch from Wainwright that struck out looking, and he singles again. Leadoff hit here in the bottom of the 7th. Not to be forgotten so far in this game, also the defensive play that Arenado made earlier in the ballgame with 2 runners on and threw from foul territory all the way to first, and on the other end Goldschmidt stayed on the bag and the Cardinals were out of the inning. That was a huge play in this game. So a 2-hit night for Jacob Stallings, and Miguel Rojas 0 for 2. He's grounded to second and also grounded out to third. Ryan Helsley throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. the first pitch by McFarland taken for a ball outside. See how long that Ollie wants to stick here with McFarland. You do have the lefty Sanchez on deck. And again, Don Mattingly is down to just one available position player and his backup catcher. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Rojas on his 7th opening day roster here with the Marlins. And a ground ball, backhanded, knocked down by DeYoung, and they'll get the lead man. Nicely done, Paul DeYoung.
Great play by Tommy too, right there, not trying to do too much. Take the out, throw the ball away, don't do anything crazy. It was interesting you were talking about it. Donnie's almost managing this game like it's a National League game. You know, moving guys around. It's a good job right here by just getting the out. I think Tommy sees once that he has to turn backwards away from him and doesn't pop up and spin. He had no chance for the double play, so just go ahead and act like a first baseman and just get the out.
Cardinals will shift on the right side for Sanchez. Struck out twice and is singled to left. So the runner at first now Rojas, and the outfield straight away. First pitch taken for a ball. Sanchez had a couple of different stints with the Marlins last year and stuck there at the end. Another one of these young players they feel they can build around here in Miami. The 1-0. Runners did not attempt to steal against St. Louis when McFarland was on the mound and down by 4. You wouldn't anticipate that here. And there's another base hit into left center. Over to cut it off as Bader is throwing to second base. He may have him, and out at second. Marlins are going to take a look at it. But Bader had every intention of going right to second base and trying to get him as Sanchez was racing out of the box.
It's a good play by Bader right here.
Wow. And they apparently will not challenge. Sanchez doesn't want to leave second.
You can see Harry right here just going straight to the ball and getting him. Just misses the throw barely enough to just be dead out. It's a great job right there by Tommy. 2 plays in a row.
To me, it almost looked like the lead foot had beat it, but it wasn't on the bag.
Yeah, it wasn't there yet. I don't even think he was there yet. It looked so like the throw beat him, but it was offline and he didn't get back in time, but yet he never really got to the bag sliding.
So that'll be it for TJ McFarland. The Cardinals elect to go to their bullpen. It's a big play by Harrison Bader, the Gold Glover, to Tommy Edman, another one. And it's 5-1 with 2 down. Official partner of the Cardinals. If your plans change, you can easily list your tickets with StubHub. Even use the free seller toolkit to help manage the price of your tickets with StubHub. You can sell your tickets in just a few taps without any stress. Download the StubHub app today. On one side of that play, you say it's a terrific job by Bader not to take anything for granted and to get Sanchez out at second base, but down by 4 runs. You can't have that this late.
No, you don't want your at this point down by 4, you want to be really sure that you're going to make it when you're stealing a base, when you're taking an extra base. And that's basically how you have to think about it. You just can't run wild. And I thought it was a great try, but you also got to remember the speed and the arm of Harrison Bader. And like I said, if you have any doubt, kind of got to sit there. Your run doesn't mean anything, so that's what you got to think about.
Garrett Cooper against Ryan Helsley. He's inherited 34 runners since the start of 2021. Only 4 have scored. And so far this year, he's come in with 3 on. Nobody has scored. Pitched over the weekend in Milwaukee. And Ryan is off to a good start, throwing hard. Secondary pitches, though, have been extremely efficient. Fastball and a strike at 98. And talking with Ryan the other day, I said, has something changed, grip, whatever, with the slider, breaking ball? And he said, I'm finally healthy. My left knee, my landing knee, doesn't give me pain anymore. And he said, I think I overcompensated, not realizing it the last couple of years. Got that cleaned up. That pitch right there does not have a hump anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't look the same. I don't know. He might tell you it's the same, but the thought process behind it makes a lot of sense too. Is being able to land there and finish your pitch, and has definitely changed the way his slider comes out of his hand.
1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at third. And a swing and a miss held on to by Molina. Helsley cleans it up again, sends us to the 8th. And the Cardinals on top here in game 1. Call to the pen. Steven Okert has been around for a while. Signed as a free agent late February.
Another guy, just 2 pitches, right? Fastball, slider, a lot of sliders to righties especially.
Might be doing the Cardinals a favor here with Pujols at the plate and a lefty on the mound. Okert had spent most of his career with the San Francisco Giants. Albert tonight doubled down the right field line, singled, grounded out, and he's 2 for 3. He is not homered in this ballpark as he yanks that foul down the left field line and broke his bat.
Not happy about that one. Could see his stance a little bit narrower this time, moving around a little less comfortable.
Albert has also scored a couple of runs here tonight, including scoring all the way from first base on a triple by Tommy Edman. The 1-1.
Never thought we would say that.
Had not been done since the 2019 season for Pujols, scoring all the way from first. Already he has made an impact with this club early on. The 2-1 pitch. Popped up and out of play, and he'd love to have that one back.
That ball's up a little bit. Wow. Just got down enough. That ball's right down the middle.
The 2-2. Albert hits it down the left field line. Fouls. He yanks it. Home run distance, but foul.
That's something that I don't understand still to this day. Is the old school thinking would be pretty obvious. Make him hit the ball to right field. Give him a single. Clogs up the bases. It doesn't do any damage. And yet you're going to throw him sliders inside where all he has to do is throw the bat at the ball. And if he hits the barrel, it could be a homer.
The 2-2. And now
Ouch.
He's hit by the pitch. Might be time to get Albert out of there.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Let's see Lars Newbar.
They were already thinking the same thing. Good call.
And Albert seems to be okay. He's having a word with the first base umpire and the crew chief, Tom Hallion. The standing O here in Miami. How cool is that? Tip your cap on the road here in Miami. So Pujols hit by the pitch, and Albert on base 3 times tonight. Lars Nootbaar, the runner at first. I don't think from a baseball perspective, Jimmy, that you could ask for a better start from Albert.
No.
I mean, he's been terrific.
You're right. You're dead on.
Ball and a strike, Tommy Edman. RBI triple, then a 2-out RBI single in the 5th. I mean, he's been exactly what the Cardinals have wanted from the right side and their DH.
He's going to need an ice bath tonight.
Yes, sir.
The legs, maybe a little.
Could be 2, step on the bag, and a double play. Cardinals have hit into 2 double plays tonight. And you know what is getting tough to ignore is what's happening right now at Memphis with Nolan Gorman. He has hit another home run. That's 5 straight games he's gone deep. He's already got 7 this year. I mentioned earlier that I spoke to the manager of the Redbirds today, Ben Johnson, and he said, Nolan, he said, I wasn't sure about the move to second base defensively. He said, now I'm 100% in. He's making the transition. He's getting better every day. He said he's such a hard worker. You have to make sure that when he does the work, he's doing it properly. As he's moving from third to second. RBI double with 2 outs to left in the 2nd inning for Paul DeJong. He has also struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice.
Nolan Gorman still only 21 years old.
That's
too.
right. And the 2-0 has been about the rules. And he said, we've had issues, not them, but the pitch clock for both hitters and pitchers. And he said to his guys, hey, it's part of a game. I don't want to hear anything about it. Deal with it. To the point that the opposition, it's cost them, and he thinks it helped them win a game or 2. Where all of a sudden a strike gets called on you and you
Put
get
you in a hole. Yeah.
And all, you know, they said that it just unnerved players.
I got a little fun fact for you. A kid struck out 3 guys in an inning the other day with 8 pitches and threw a ball.
Pitch clock.
Pitch clock. Got 2 guys, 3 different pitches called on them for strikes.
And that's ball 4, 2-out walk for DeJong.
I was trying to figure it out, right? Like, I'm thinking, well, how does he only throw? I get it, 8 pitches. And then I watched it and he threw a ball, and I said, wait a second. How many times can you get called for the pitch clock?
There was an article I read the other day that in minor league baseball, at the levels that they're using the pitch clock, an average of 20 minutes is being cut, shaved off the games.
I could see that. And you know what? It's not everyone, but there's that one guy on every team. Maybe 2 or 3 at the big league level. Especially, you know, it's the funniest thing, and it's the running joke up here in the booth. And, you know, whenever you're watching a game, you rush through a game for 5, 6, 7 innings, and all of a sudden the bullpen comes in and the game hits a stall. It's just, you know, and then, but you add the bullpen guys, then you add guys on base, and then signs and all that stuff, and it definitely slows the game down. So I understand it. I think it's going to be a tough rule at this level, but maybe a happy medium somewhere.
And it can't be done with fines. It's got to be done with in the game itself.
Yeah, no one cares about the fine. Not going to fine somebody a ridiculous amount for a pitch clock violation.
Now that's a different story.
Safe.
DeJong was running, and he's got a stolen base. Well, he must see something with some tell there from the lefty Okert, and he was off with that tell. Would have been picked off, but the throw was wide, and it winds up being a stolen base, and the Cardinals have 2 tonight.
Well, I got to believe, too, once he starts running, look, he gets to the inside right here, that's just a tough throw for Cooper. And I think that, you know, when you get picked like that, your first instinct is to stop and get in a rundown. He was gone. He's just like, go ahead and make him throw it.
Here's a 1-1. That's the difference of a right-handed throwing first baseman, lefty. And it's been a frustrating night, I'm sure, for Don Mattingly defensively tonight. You've had a couple of errors.
Well, that's what makes Goldie's play so special.
Yep.
On the Arenado ground ball is just to play for a right-handed first baseman is really tough.
2-1 the count on Yadier Molina.
Think about that play that Goldie made. If I was thinking about myself, played a bunch of games at first base, probably over 100, and I don't even think I have to stretch for that ball. You know, you just kind of open up and reach out and grab it.
And the 2-1 is hit out to left. And it curls back into the glove of Soler. Hit it on the button. We're midway through 8. Redbirds on top.
Getting you ready for post game. I mean, Al, Pujols on his horse. He's got wheels. Waino dealing. Honestly, what year is it?
Albert 2 for 2 the first 2 times up, scores all the way from first base on a base hit by Tommy Edman. Hey, the young guys, Pujols and Waino did their job, didn't they?
Young at heart, I would say. All right, back to Danny Mac and Jim Edmonds. We'll see you post game.
All right, guys, looking forward to it. It is the bottom of the 8th, and St. Louis leading by the score of 5-1. They have out-hit the Marlins 8-7. Elsley got the final out in the 7th.
You said that Aguilar never swings at the first pitch. I don't think we haven't thrown him a strike on the first pitch yet tonight.
I think the first pitch, his first at bat, may have been a strike. I can't quite remember.
I think that was a breaking ball out of the zone.
It was a breaking
if
ball.
I can remember, but I mean, you're a lot better at this game than I am. But if my memory is correct,
here's a 1-0. Aguilar gets underneath it, pops it up left side, and that'll find the seats out of play. A play made by that young fan. He brings his glove, gets a souvenir, gets a hug. Awesome. Love it. Nice play, young man. He's also a lefty. I think I might want to try to see if he needs an agent.
I hate when you're better at this game than me. You're right. It was a called strike.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Aguilar.
But then he walked him.
Nasty pitch there by Ryan Elsley. 1-2. Aguilar here, then Wendell and De La Cruz, who came in for Avisail Garcia. And I don't remember anything out of the ordinary with Garcia. We haven't heard anything from the Marlins side, so De La Cruz is homered. That was back in the 6th. Put in play, left side, Arenado, plenty of time, and the first out. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Want to deposit your birthday check right from your phone? Don't waste your wish. You can send money, check your balance, and yes, take care of those checks in a snap, all with the Great Southern mobile app.
By the way, Nolan Gorman is hitting .350, the 7 home runs. They all have been solo home runs. Got 7 runs batted in, and he scored 11 runs. Well, you're in the minor leagues. It's all you can do is put up numbers and try to get the attention of those in the front office and wait for your shot.
Yep, he's doing it.
Joey Wendell, 1 for 3 tonight. Fouled back, 0-2. Elsley is not allowed a hit this year. Right-handed batters 0 for 8, 5 strikeouts. The lefties 0 for 2 of the strikeout. You can see his role growing in importance every single day, especially when rosters get reduced. The 0-2. I'm going to bring that up just because you may have some guys that are down and can't go to anybody else. So then all of a sudden it's Elsley that is in your 7th and your 8th, or maybe even the 9th. I'd have no problem with that.
He's got closer stuff.
Exactly.
But another one of those guys that, you know, you can't throw too much, but yet is better, sharper when he pitches a lot. It's always that fine line.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Taking just a bit low and outside.
He's only thrown 6 pitches this week.
So 1 out, nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Joey Wendell. Outfield shading him just a bit towards left center. The 2-2. That's where he goes, into the gap. Chasing it down, it'll be Bader. Wendell to second, and he'll stop there.
I think that's basically his swing right there. That's 2 in a row in that gap.
StatCast powered by Google Cloud, and the home run hit. This was back in the 6th inning against Adam Wainwright. It was after he had made that play coming off the mound. Left it up a bit. De La Cruz, it's not a cheapie, 416.
Yeah, I didn't think he hit it that far, but it just kept going and going and going. When you see Harrison's back and then he stops running hard, you think, really?
You know, every ballpark now using the humidor with the baseballs. Every one, not just in Colorado, everywhere.
I just don't understand that.
And there are times, Jimmy, I thought over the weekend in that ballpark in Milwaukee, you think the ball is going to fly. Now, they did have the roof closed, the paneling was closed.
Yeah,
but
makes
it
a little
still
difference
flies.
there.
But there were some balls hit that I was a little surprised they didn't make it over the wall. Here's a 1-0 pitch by Ryan Helsley. Pulled foul.
Kind of confused by the humidor, so to speak, because everyone wants to see offense, and then we get offense, and then they try to slow down the ball, and you got guys throwing 100 miles an hour, and then they try to change that. I mean, you know, they say we've done nothing different, which you know they have. The ball is not the same as it is. Every 4 or 5 or 6 years, something happens, and they make them harder or softer. But I don't understand why you want to take away the offense. I don't want to be an offensive one-sider. I love pitching, but I'm just saying, why are we making baseballs that we have to doctor up to keep them in the ballpark?
Well, I think
doesn't
that's
seem normal.
The fine line that baseball is trying to straddle here, because you want the game to be as entertaining as it can be, and you're talking about trying to get the elimination of the 3 outcomes, and maybe a baseball that has got a little jump in it, you would think would lead to more offense, but
now you're taking that away.
Yeah.
And then they are still hard, and they have no seam, so the breaking ball isn't going to be as sharp as it is. So you got to do one or the other. You got to, like, you know, you're taking everything away from the pitchers, so you end up making the ball a little bit softer.
You know, the idea obviously behind this is to add or subtract to make it equal everywhere, and I understand that.
Well, if that was the case, then they would figure out the flight of a baseball in every city and make the stadium accordingly, the depth, right? And then that's a big change also for a hitter. I mean, can you imagine going from a ballpark like, let's say, ours, and being a guy who hits the ball to right center field, and then going to the Yankee Stadium and you're going to hit 40 next year? I mean, you go from hitting 5 to 40 just because of the ballpark you play in, or even playing in a place like this.
That's certainly taken into the evaluations of front offices, no doubt. The 1-2, and it's 2-2. Last year, Helsley, the average against him with runners in scoring position, a paltry 208. He's just turned into one of those guys that Ollie can go to and be reliable in tough situations, no doubt. Eight hits aside. Cardinals have stranded 4. Marlins 3. 5-1 St. Louis.
He's throwing a lot of breaking balls for this league, don't you think? I think he would maybe challenge him a little bit more, especially with that fastball that he has, that velocity that he has. Maybe he had a few outings versus these guys during spring training.
Marlins 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position thus far tonight. And De La Cruz trying to change that here. Outfield deep straight away. The next by Ryan Helsley, the 3-2. Got him. It's a strikeout. And the second of the night for Ryan Helsley. Marlins have struck out 8 times in their lineup tonight.
Good pitch right there. Just a little bit of a slider there, right? And makes an adjustment. Doing some big ones. Can't find the strike zone. Go a little bit smaller one. Keep it in the strike zone.
So runner at second, and now Brian Anderson. 2 outs. Anderson is 1 for 3 tonight. And the first pitch. 98 taken inside. In a fairly tight zone, I thought, from the onset. Mark Ripperger, the home plate umpire. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at first. Phil Cuzzi at second. Corey Blazer is at third. So a veteran crew for this series. And the 1-0 pitch, Helsley to Anderson. Anderson was a finalist for the Gold Glove Award a couple of years ago. The key for him is just trying to stay healthy, stay on the field. He's a good player. Hit left side and foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fans down the left field line, they were clamoring for that foul ball. We could hear that up here.
It's a big ball, big foul ball. Come to a game, you want a foul ball.
Got to get a souvenir. If you have one land by you, it's going to make your night. And if you get one, it really does. Take a look. Oh,
man,
that's awesome. She is fired up. Love seeing that. That's great. 3-1 pitch with 2 outs and a runner at second. And a full count. Helsley came in with 2 outs and 1 on. Runner at third in the 7th inning and trying to have a scoreless 8th inning. And send us to the 9th. Cardinals will have Harrison Bader. Then the top of the lineup at Carlson and Goldschmidt. And a long look, and now Helsley is set with the 3-2 pitch to Anderson. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back Ks. And another scoreless outing for Ryan Helsley. 9th inning is upon us. 5-1 Redbirds. Lead of 5-1. 9th inning rolls in. Chance to make Wainwright a winner tonight. So he's looking to go to 2-1. Tommy Edman continues to hit to start his season. 2 for 4 with a triple. He's driven in 2. Jesus Luzardo 4 1/3, 7 hits. And Brian De La Cruz coming off the bench to account for the lone run of the Marlins, a solo home run against Waino. Chevy called to the pen, and it's Tanner Scott, the lefty, to face Bader, the switch hitter Carlson, and Paul Goldschmidt. A shift on the left side as Bader takes a ball. He is walked fly to right and struck out looking. Cardinals picked up 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 5th, and lead at 5-1. 8 hits aside. Redbirds have stranded 4, and the Marlins 3. 1 ball and 1 strike.
To have that one back, I bet.
Scott had a personal high in innings pitched last year, 54 coming out of the bullpen. Again, Jimmy, it's another very good outing for Ryan Helsley here tonight. Really good. The 1-1.
Probably threw a lot more pitches than he would have liked, but I think you're right. Very, very good outing, and it's just, you know, you like to see it. Got to get your bullpen guys out there. They can be efficient and do their jobs, get in, get out, keep your team momentum going, especially later in the game as things start to slow down.
3-1 the count. Last outing for Scott was back 3 days ago when they took 3 of 4 against the Phillies. Had an inning and 3 strikeouts, hit a man at 14 pitches. So plenty of rest coming into this appearance. And did 3-1, 3-2. It's going to be an interesting year for the Marlins with the pitching that they have, which can shut down any lineup. Alcantara going tomorrow. You've got Lopez. Young man tonight's going to be just fine. But Don Mattingly competing with the Mets, the Phillies, and the world champion Braves. It's a tall order.
Yeah, especially when you have a defense that gives away some runs here and there with 2 errors tonight. Big error, second base. Well, 2 big errors, obviously. Drop fly ball and basically
ball right's got to be caught.
Well, and then the play at second, just a nice play, and just got a little bit lazy and just flipped it over there. But those things are going to kill you, especially when you're playing good teams.
There's Dylan Carlson called out on strikes, fly to left, fly to right, and grounded into the shift. 0 for 4 tonight. First pitch, a strike. Right-handed batters just 1 for 9 so far against Scott, and the 0-1 pitch to Dylan. Like to see him get going here a little bit.
I was gonna say he needs to get a good spot for a hit right here, kind of get him off the over, but he's got to get going again.
Outfield deep straight away. 2 strikes on Carlson. 1-2 the count. And a strikeout of Carlson. 0 for 5 tonight. Back-to-back Ks for Tanner Scott.
Kind of like the beginning of last year a little bit when he just wasn't being as patient coming out of spring training. Kind of got to reset yourself a little bit. Big pitchers get the ball up.
Yep. Nick Wickren is throwing, and Gallegos as well. Non-save situation. You probably see Wickren. They will have Soler, Stallings, and Rojas due up in their half of the ninth, and here is Goldie. Struck out, doubled into the gap in left center, singled to right, and then that was the drop ball in right. Initially given a hit, but then ruled an error. And the 0-1 pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. 0-2. Cardinals got the split over the weekend against Milwaukee and trying to take game 1 of this 3-game set. And the 0-2 pitch. The 1-2. Chopped to short. Taken by Rojas, and the Cardinals go 1-2-3. We move to the bottom of the ninth. Soler, Stallings, Rojas. 5-1 St. Louis. Tonight's starter for St. Louis, Adam Wainwright. 92 pitches, 5 2/3. Struck out 6 along the way. And Waino looking to go to 2-1 on the season. And for the Cardinals, they're looking to go to 6-3 on this young year. Skip Schumacher there on the left and Ali Marmol on the right. And they will turn it over to Giovanni Gallegos. So Gallegos is in for St. Louis. Last time we saw him, Cardinals turned one of the better double plays you're going to see to end the game. Looked like they had no chance to turn 2, but they did. It was a nail biter in Milwaukee, and they picked up a win.
A nail biter.
You got it. The Cardinals hold on. Yadier Molina will pass Carlton Fisk, second most career wins in games caught, 1,192. And Pudge is the all-time leader, 1,254. Just another stat to add to the resume of Yadier Molina.
They'll just keep coming, too.
Every night it's something with these guys. He and Waino moved into third all-time in battery starts together. 307 tonight. Here's Jorge Soler. Came in midway through this game. He saw one pitch and grounded out. That was against TJ McFarland. So Gallegos has pitched once in the last 5 days, only 17 pitches, and that's probably part of the thought process as to why he's in this game with a 4-run lead.
I was going to say it would be interesting to hear what Ollie has to say after the game, but you just said it right there. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Got to get your guys in games. Got to pitch, especially your closer.
Mike Maddox there, Cardinals pitching coach. 0-2 the count. A shift on the left side of the infield and the 0-2 pitch. Off the plate, good pitch. That's when you get those right-handed batters to chase that pitch on 0-2. Also, by the way, if the Cardinals hold on, Waino and Yadi will have 201 wins together. That's one shy the all-time mark held by the Braves, Warren Spahn and Del Crandall, if 202. Waino himself closing in on 200 wins. And the 2-2 pitch to Soler. He struck him out. A called third strike. And that's how we start play in the home half of the ninth. And that's 3 consecutive strikeouts. Helsley and now Gallegos.
It's a good job right here by Yadi and Gallegos with the pitch selection. Throws the fastball for a strike, throws the slider, then tries to throw the slider outside to get him to chase, then throws the fastball high to get him to chase. He doesn't bite on all of that, and then as a hitter, you're thinking, here comes the slider, and they go with the fastball and freezes him right there. Great setup. That's why you can't think and can't anticipate at the plate. Get yourself in trouble.
2 hits for Jacob Stallings tonight, and the first pitch taken low for a ball. Twice he has singled to center. Also was called out on strikes. He's 1 for 3 with a strikeout head-to-head with Giovanni Gallegos. Cardinals defensively about as straight up as you'll see a defense in today's game. Tommy Edman is on the outfield turf and off the dirt, but everybody else pretty much straight away.
Playing their positions.
Yeah.
As they draw it in the book.
Here's a 1-1 to Stallings. In the air to center. Bader. Out number 2. 5 2/3 from Wainwright. McFarland, 1 inning. Helsley, after that, in the 7th, cleaned up that inning. Inning and a third. And now Gallegos trying to finish it off here in the bottom of the 9th. Miguel Rojas, 9th place batter. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Only one head-to-head matchup between these two, and Rojas has a double. First pitch taken just a bit high.
Still a little tight, huh?
You're not getting the bottom, and you're not getting the top.
Getting the top.
I mean, Jimmy, that's what it makes it pretty tough.
Just throw it down the middle. No, thank you.
And the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. On the air tomorrow at 5. Michael is going for St. Louis. Finish up this series on Thursday, and then we head to Cincinnati. 1 ball and 1 strike. The next by Giovanni Gallegos. Popped up to the right side, and this should do it. Under it. Goldie, foul territory, has it, and a 1-2-3 ninth inning for Giovanni Gallegos. The Cardinals win it 5-1, and they are 6-3 to start 2022.
Well, another solid game all the way around. Pitching, defense, offense. Adam Wainwright threw probably more pitches than he'd like to just get to 5 2/3, but a great job. Got the win nonetheless, but the bullpen comes through again. Solid team effort. They've been getting a lot of this lately, and I think it's things to come.
Well, stay with us. Plenty of Cardinals coverage. You'll hear from the players. We'll go inside the clubhouse. Jim Hayes will be there. Nice way to start this series. The Cardinals defeat the Miami Marlins by the final of 5-1. For Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin.
Victory, the series opener there in Miami. Former Cardinal Al Roboski is with me to break it all down on Cardinals Live. That takes place next. Make sure to tune in for our next telecast tomorrow, 5:30. Pregame starts at 5. We will see you there. Postgame next.
Look at the night for Adam.
42-year-old turning back the clock. Albert Pujols hustling first to home, scoring on the Tommy Edman triple. Is there anything this man can't do? Yadier Molina loving it, giving him some love. He's found the fountain of youth as we welcome you to Cardinals Live. Birds fly south, find some warmer weather, and they pick up their W for the first game in this 3-game set against the Marlins down there in South Florida. Al, what a victory. Joined by Al Roboski, I am Alexa Dat. It was awesome to see everyone contributing in this one, but Adam Wainwright on the mound, getting the W, obviously back to his home opener self, season opener, and that all kind of came to fruition for him.
Right. He was real strong through his 5 innings. In the 6th inning, got the ball up a little bit, gave up the solo home run on a cutter that was over the middle of the plate, but that was dead center field, 416 feet away. So, I mean, he did a great job, but he had enough offense right there. Once again, this team just keeps on scoring, and, you know, it's just fun to watch right now. And Adam is a guy that knows how to get a lead and hold it. Had the breaking ball working early, both sides of the plate. Few cutters came over the middle of the plate and everything, but he didn't get hurt until the 6th inning. But good bounce back for Adam Wainwright.
100%, especially because in his last outing, he goes 4 1/3, 4 earned runs. He said he was living thigh high because I don't make any money thigh high. So I got to bring that down. Jim Edmonds was making a great point on the broadcast that maybe the heat, the humidity helps drop that ball down a little bit now that he is in Miami. I mean, how much does that play into it?
Well, I think it plays a lot, but I think it's the early going. You had a short spring training. These guys didn't throw a lot of innings down there. And I think the biggest problem was he had 2 extra days rest.
Yes.
He's a guy that likes to stay on the 5-day schedule. They've moved back Hicks till Thursday to keep Adam and Michaelis on that 5-game schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but he also moved to 5th place in franchise history, 4 innings pitched. A lot of history being made here tonight. 307th start as a battery for Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina. They moved past Red Faber and Ray Schalk for 3rd all-time in MLB history. They just keep climbing that list, and it is so fun to watch the 2 of them out there together.
Yeah, if they both stay healthy, they should get that record late in this season. But, it's just marvelous the way both these guys taking care of themselves, being able to be teammates for so long, only playing for one organization. It's just very, very special. And then you add Albert in there. It's just a charity case. He's batting .389, so he's really not helping the team at all. A couple more runs scored, and what a wealth of knowledge for all of his teammates and the coaching staff.
I know, right? It was like, oh, he's here to sell tickets. No, he's also here to play baseball, and he's here to teach some of those younger guys. So they're getting everything that they can out of Albert, and he is happy to provide. They got something out of the offense as well. Our Mid-America Chevy Dealers player of the game, Tommy Edman, who had that excellent triple, goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. He is joined there at Lone Depot Park with our Jim Hayes.
2 hits, 2 RBIs for Tommy Edman. Also some fine defensive work in this one. Tommy, you started the season by hitting in all 9 games you played in. Spring training, a different story. That tells me during spring training you were probably working on some things.
Yeah, no, spring training was a good time to kind of get my routine in check and work on those things that I need to be consistent with over the course of the season. And fortunately, that's carried over to the beginning of this season. Hopefully, keep it rolling.
You also have 5 extra base hits so far on the season, an uptick in power.
Yeah, that's kind of just a result of what I've been doing in the cages with my prep work and doing a better job of driving the ball and getting the ball off the ground a little bit.
RBI triple. The guy that scored from first base was Albert Pujols. How about that guy?
Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to chase him down on that.
Did that cross your mind?
Yeah, I was just making sure that he was going home because I didn't want to run to third base and have him stay there. But Pop did a good job sending him, getting that read, and showed off enough wheels to score on that.
Waino was Waino again tonight. Just your thoughts on his outing?
Yeah, classic Waino. Going almost 6 innings and doing a good job of attacking guys. And I think he probably didn't feel like he had his best stuff today, but he still had a great start and got another win for us.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, Jim.
All right, guys. Tommy Edman.
Yeah, Tommy Edman has just been electric. We talked about his slow or pretty much non-existent spring training, but he's coming through in a huge way during the regular season. Those numbers don't count. Throw him out because he has picked it up in a big way here. What are you seeing from his at-bats that really surprised you?
Well, he's a guy that's always impressed me just with his ability, even when he was in the minor leagues. But, what he is a big part of what they are doing against left-handed pitching. This is just awesome the way they're out there. They're in the top 5 in all major league ranks offensively when they face a left-handed pitcher. And they faced a tough one tonight, and they handled him very easily.
Yeah, and this is something we're used to seeing from the Cardinals, too, right? So when we saw Luzardo on the mound, we were kind of like, okay, this will be interesting to see because he's coming off facing that Angels lineup, got 12 Ks, but we forgot Cardinals' strength is facing those lefties and really, taking it to them. Take a look at their average, their home runs, extra base hits, they slug well, all of it.
Yeah, and remember, he started the game striking out, Carlson and Goldie. So all of a sudden you said, oh, wow, maybe we'll have one of these nights. But the offense showed up in the second inning. And it's great to, if you're a starting pitcher and you're out there and you get that lead real early, it's a confidence builder. And then, like I said, Adam knows what to do with the lead, knows how to pitch. I agree he didn't have his best stuff tonight, but proven winners know how to win without their best stuff.
Especially those veterans. Yeah, they know how to grind it out. This offense was grinding it out, too. We talked about this team and how they handle lefties. Albert Pujols does the best. He is our Menard's big money moment. First of all, that ball drops in there and he hustles. He's like, listen, I'm going to get a stand-up double out of this. No way you are going to question my hustle. It's just so impressive to watch. And then from first, here he comes. Tommy Edman's thinking he's going to pass him, but no way. Pujols is like, I got this. Throws off and he scores.
Well, we're sitting here praising a guy who's on first base and scores on a triple.
I know, but he's funny too.
But, you can see him chugging along there and everything. And he was always obsessed with scoring. So that's still in his mindset that he's going to do everything he can. You got to score runs to win. And Albert will always tell you that I'm going to score as many times as I possibly can. And he's going up the ranks too. On major league leaders and his runs scored.
A lot of people said he came into spring in really great shape, and they weren't wrong. Scoring from first base for the first time since July of 2019, 13 seconds from first to home, fastest for him since 2018, back in July of that year. Just unbelievable watching him, and the rest of the dugout freaked out when he got in. Why not celebrate it? It's something you gotta love, the fact that he was able to turn on the jets and plate that run. Oh, need some oxygen too. We'll be right back. Live on Valley Sports is brought to you by the Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Law Tigers, Missouri's motorcycle lawyers. Beautiful Miami, a gorgeous night. I got to credit this win, I think, to the fact that they had a squad dinner at Nobu last night. Eating some delicious sushi. They were out on the water. They celebrated their off day, all getting to hang out, spend some camaraderie, good times there down in South Beach, because they have 20 games in the next 20 days, and they're off to a good start so far out.
Yeah, I think early in the season, they had so many rain and off days. Now they know that they're going to have to be playing every single day, and that's going to help the ball club. Towards the end of that 20, they'll get a little tired, but for the most part right now, they just need to play day after day.
And they also saw some great work from TJ McFarland, Ryan Helsley, and Giovanni Gallegos out of the bullpen, so that was strong as well. Waino giving his best stuff, what he could give tonight, 5 2/3, and the fact that the bullpen was able to come in and help out, gotta love to see it.
Yeah, I'm real concerned in the fact that you have, now that Hicks is not in the bullpen, you got 10 relief pitchers down there. Remember, May 1st, you get down, you drop 2 pitchers. It's very difficult to keep that many relievers sharp, and so far they've been able to do that. But the bullpen was very staunch right here. They did strike out 10 Marlins today. Waino was 6 of those, but everyone was doing their job, and they're going to get that opportunity, and you just have to make the most of it. But it's going to be a juggling act for Ollie and to go out there and get these guys and kind of keep them, sharp, but not tired or anything like that. It's going to be more a problem, guys rest, than it is going to be overwork.
All right, I know that pitching staff supports and appreciates that defense doing their work. I can tell you that, because this was just outstanding. Solid defense to see. Bottom of the first, Viseo Garcia grounding out to Nolan. Just a routine play from Nolan. But Goldie with that stretch, gotta love it. And then in the 6th, Wendell grounding out to Waino. Waino's like, I'm gonna use my whole wingspan to pick this up, take it myself. Then in the 7th, Sanchez hitting it out to Bader. Bader firing this one to Edman, who applies the tag. Sorry, Sanchez. Go sit down. You are out. I mean, Bader and Edman, those two guys right there connecting, earning their first Gold Gloves last season. It was a goal for both of them. It was really impressive to see. Cardinals led the majors with 83 defensive runs saved, and that's exactly why. Well, they were outstanding. Remember, they had 5 Gold Glove winners, and you saw 3 of them right there. And remember, Adam won a Gold Glove in his career also. But Cardinals are 6-3. They played 9 games. They've only made a total of 4 errors. We can expect that type of defense all season long. And defense, no matter what level, will win your ball games. Bader earning that first Gold Glove after leading all Major League outfielders with 15 defensive runs saved and 14 outs above average. First Cardinal to win it there in center field since Jim Edmonds back in 2005. But we're going to check this out again. Why not? Because just, being off balance and making that throw, it's so natural for him, and it's such an unnatural movement. Plus Goldie stretching, keeping that foot on the bag is really impressive. Well, you have 2 tremendous Gold Glove winners right here. Arenado, how many times we've seen him make throws in foul territory and come up with it, and that's a very difficult play for a right-handed first baseman, and yet Goldie makes it with flawless. He picked up his 4th Gold Glove last year too, so it's really fun to watch these guys play defense. Yeah, I bet Ali Marmol was impressed as well. I mean, he's seen it done a million times, but every time you see it, it's a lot of fun. We're going to head out to Lone Depot Park right now and hear from Ali Marmol meeting with the media. It is all presented by Painting and Decorating Foundation.
Yeah, having speed on the bases is helpful, and it was fun seeing him score from first. He was getting after it, yeah.
How about the job he did at the plate? I mean, his numbers, he's providing exactly why you guys brought him over.
That's exactly it. He's taking really good at-bats, and specifically against the left-handers, he's looking really good. He feels good about it, and we feel equally as good about it.
Looked like Waino didn't. I'm sorry if you want to.
Oh, go ahead. You got it. You're on. Go for the natural hat trick.
All right, and then Waino looked like he was kind of trying to find it all night. Did a good job early on, a couple of walks, which isn't characteristic.
Yeah, a couple walks early, but then he was able to settle in. The sinker was on. I believe he got a decent amount, 7 outs on ground balls. Curveball was in play for sure. That thing looked really good tonight. So he was somewhere in their 77% range of breaking ball for strikes, and it was a really good pitch for him tonight.
I wanted to ask about the defensive play in that first inning and what that kind of did for y'all, just to kind of reset.
If you look at even that inning where DeYoung made that play as well, and then we throw out Sanchez at second, that's an inning, if you don't have good defense, could easily spiral and you have a completely different outcome. The play with Nolan and Goldie staying on the bag that's impressive. There's a reason that the best defense in baseball, and tonight was a very good example of that.
Do you expect them to challenge that just almost on principle because of the reach?
No. What I've noticed, at least with replay, is when you think guys are coming off the bag, they're really on there for a lot longer than you think. No, Goldie did a really nice job of staying on there, and it was impressive. Yeah.
Waino had 3 pitches that weren't even 70 miles an hour. He had a 63 mile an hour pitch. I think he had 65, 67. You just marvel at the way he can mix up his speeds.
Yes, he threw one at 63. It took a while to get to the plate, but it was slower and slower with Sanchez there, and it was a really good, impressive pitch for him.
To be able to pencil those two in the lineup every day, every 5th day, Waino and Yachty, how much of a security blanket is that for a manager?
It's a good feeling. Those two guys are impressive in the way they prepare and the way they execute their plan, and tonight they did exactly that.
We're seeing a lot from Helsley so far. Is that just him being healthy? He got past a couple injuries, including the knee.
Yeah, I think it's him being healthy. We're seeing some really good stuff out of him. Swinging the slider and then just really good life on the fastball. He's feeling confident about his work. He'll continue to see some high leverage situations.
What did you see from the approach against Lazard?
Loved it. That's a good arm. That's a really good arm. He's an impressive kid, and the at-bats we just took off of him were even more impressive. To not swing at that slider low and in and really push him out and do what we did. I'm not sure how many strikeouts he left the game with, but our guys were determined to execute our plan, and they did.
Ali Marmol liking what he sees as the Cardinals go to 6-3 on the season. They take game 1 from the Marlins. More after this. Guard shortstop Paul DeYoung has a big night down there in Miami. Goes 1 for 3 with run RBI. Takes this one for a ride. And it looks pretty good, Al.
Yeah, he's coming around. He's really, defensively, he's always really showed up. Nice play here, get the lead man. That's the most important thing. But, you just watch Paul. He's a real professional. I think he's showing a lot more patience tonight. He steals the base. He's leading the team with steals at 2. But, hey, you got to do something. And right now, it's like I said, he's has much better at-bats. He's staying more disciplined. He's not chasing that pitches down and away. So it's just a matter of time. It just, with the other guys hitting, he can kind of relax and doesn't feel like the extra pressure that it's all on him.
Yeah, 100%. He said he just needs to get out of his head and do instead of thinking about doing. And that is a huge change for him, and we're seeing it, and him having a lot of success. Also, his 100th career double. We thought he had it last game. It was taken away from him, and he gets it tonight.
Yeah, it was a scoring change, and he was taken, they first called it in Milwaukee a double, which really it was a single, and he went to second on the throw. But he got that 100th double tonight, and I'm happy to see that. He's a great young man, and I really think he's got the mental approach going right now. He was way too analytical, too tough on himself. Just relax a little bit and let his natural tendencies take over. He's got tremendous power. It's not that long ago that he was an all-star and 30 home run man, so I'm not saying he's going to duplicate that, but he's going to be a very productive hitter.
And giving some run support to a starting pitcher, which is one of the most important parts, especially if that is a question mark for any team. Waino feeling really good tonight, though, especially because he was out there with Yachty. Take a look. 307th start as a battery, moving past Red Faber and Ray Schalk for third all-time in MLB history. When you're doing things that guys haven't done for decades in the sport, you know you're doing something right. They also have 201-106 record. That's good for second all-time as a tandem. They need 1 win to tie and 2 to pass Warren Spahn and Del Crandall to become the winningest battery in MLB history.
Yeah, I knew Spahn and Crandall, also Lolich and Freehand. Spahn and Crandall managed against each other in the minor leagues, and boy, these two guys were, you would think they were arch rivals instead of a great battery mate, but great competitors, and it's just nice to see Yachty and Wainwright. It's just amazing they've stayed with the Cardinals this long and be this productive.
We loved what Wainwright did tonight. Let's see if Yachty did as well. Molina speaking to the media at Lone Depot Park.
Our focus is to win games, try to help our team win games, and that's what we did tonight. I think Bueno tonight was aggressive in the strike zone. The breaking ball was good tonight. I mean, like down in the dirt, and every time when you see Bueno throwing that breaking ball down in the dirt for striking out, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, he had a pitch that was 63 miles an hour. He had one that was 67, 65 or whatever.
Yeah, he does that most of the time. When he sees a hitter, he's a young guy, so Bueno is a smart pitcher, so he's been proving that for last 16, 17 years. So he's gonna do stuff like that.
How about Albert's speed spurt from first man to triple?
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Pretty fun. It's gonna sleep like a baby tonight.
Waino had the play where he had to reach out and then he ran to first, and he looked back at you and smiled right away.
Yeah, I mean, I catch 9 innings. That was good. Albert scored from first. That was good. And Bueno making that play, that was good. So the old man making plays.
Yeah, what do you make of the play to end the first inning and how big that was? Two runners on, Nolan goes deep to the
I mean, yeah, that was a what kind of play? I mean, that was really good. I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, this guy is an unbelievable defensive. I mean, for you guys, it's a surprise, but not for us. I mean, these guys do it every day, day in, day out. I mean, it's unbelievable.
How important was that at that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game changer right there. That ball go through. I mean, it's a different ball game. So that was a nice play by Norm.
How about the at-bats that we're seeing from Albert? The swing, it looks very similar to Albert.
Oh, my God, don't talk to me about offense. I mean, just keep it that way. Keep it that way. I mean, swinging the bat pretty good. I mean, he's seeing the ball good. He's excited. I'm happy for him. You know, he's seeing that he's in the happy place right now. Hopefully he continue doing that.
He's 6 for 9 against lefties. It's just like...
Oh, my God, you guys get the numbers. I mean, I get some antsy when you guys... I mean, I don't like numbers.
Those are like crazy numbers, though, aren't they? I mean,
they are. I mean, but you know, Albert's going to give... every time he's going to put a good at-bat against lefty, and that's what he's doing right now.
He is a baseball purist. Get away from me with your numbers. I don't like numbers. I go out and I play based on my feel.
But you know what? You know, we're so accustomed to see Yachty with that big smile.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why everybody loves him so much is the big smile. But to see him smile, to see Albert, who always had his game face on, to see these guys having so much fun, and then throw Waino on top of that, just what a professional he is. These guys are having fun, and these young kids are going to feed off it.
How about him saying that Pujols is going to sleep like a baby?
Well, it's true. He's going to sleep like a baby. He's scoring 2 runs, running from first to home. You know, but that's going to be a fun sleep.
Yeah.
Some pretty good dreams. Won't take him long.
Waino loving it, too. Let's go back to Lone Depot Park and hear from the starting pitcher.
And also, a good defense.
Yeah. Nothing surprising from our defense. That's why we got them back there, man. You got the best defense in the league. You might as well use them, and they are incredible every night. You know, they do something that's. I mean, Nolan ran 2 or 3 miles throwing that ball, and I think the play of that whole thing was Goldie keeping his foot on the bag, going completely parallel to the ground there, keeping his toe on there and catching that ball. It was amazing, man. It's just so fun to watch these guys work. They're just all over the place back there.
What did you think of your?
I was okay, better. Still, I'm still I still got some work to do with my fastball command, but I threw some good pitches when I need to tonight.
And you had a 63-mile-an-hour pitch, you had a 65, you had a 67. Yachty said you do that a lot of times when you see a young guy come to the plate.
Can be, sometimes. Sometimes. Well, I think I threw my slowest one to, did I throw my slowest one to Aguilar, or did I throw my slowest one to Sanchez?
I think you said Sanchez.
Yeah, maybe. But, you know, even if that was true, I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, of course.
How much of that had to do with the meeting? Just like long.
No, I don't know what I didn't even pay any attention to it. I don't know if he got up there with a broken bat or something. I'm not sure. Huh? Oh, well, you got to protect your hands.
How about Albert? Not only what he's doing at the plate, but today he was on the base path creating.
That was amazing. That was amazing. You know, that's one of those moments where you got to enjoy. You know, from my standpoint, I kind of unlocked for a second just to laugh and be a part of that, because as soon as he hit that ball in the gap, I knew there was going to be a chance they were going to send him, and everybody in the dugout was hoping Pop would send him just to. I mean, yeah, we wanted him to score, but really just to see it, I think, more than anything, and that was fun. And he, good shape this year, you know.
Oh, he handled it pretty
he's
well.
in good shape, yeah. He's in good shape. He wasn't even out of breath when he got back.
What about your play? The play that when you got him first,
I went a long way for that.
Yeah, Yachty said the old guys did everything for it.
I went a long way for that, but you know, that's when you know you're getting old, is when everybody on the field tries to give you time to recover from it. Goldie was like, step off, make sure you get time, you know, take your time, don't rush it. And Nolan comes over, gets the rosin, and then I look up and I'm about ready to pitch, and stinking Yachty goes and picks up the imaginary piece of clay in the other left-handed batter's box. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm in good shape, but, you know, it's probably why I gave up that home run. They were making me laugh. They were making me laugh out there.
As soon as you did it, you turned around and kind of flashed a smile at Yachty.
Yeah.
Was it just kind of two almost, well, he's 39, you're 40, two guys just
yeah, you just can't give in to this age thing, man. You know, as soon as you think you're old, you are. So, don't stay young.
200.
As soon as you think you're old, you are. What a quote from the legend. Adam Wainwright, Albert Pujols, both of them turning back Father Time tonight. We'll be right back.
Sandy Alcantara, you know, Cardinal farmhand, and this kid is an outstanding pitcher. 45% of the time in his starts, he's gotten 2 runs or less of support. So, I mean, hopefully Michaels can be sharp tomorrow, and the Cardinal hitters can be getting on Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy gets a little bit of the Jacob deGrom treatment, but lights out in 2 starts versus the Cardinals last season. Cardinals couldn't manage an extra base hit and only hit 192 against him. They will look to reverse that tomorrow. They got Miles Michaelis on the mound, so we are super excited for that. All right, make sure you join us 5 p.m. tomorrow for pregame. Al and I will be there. Cardinals taking game 1 between them and the Marlins. They're at Lone Depot Park. 3-game set, game 2 tomorrow. Have a great night. See you there.